The Fan's Draft Party is Thursday. The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
And also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And we have a lot, just a bit. But before we do that, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5. Following Tuesday to see our friends over at the other place. We've got baseball today. We have the NBA playoffs on today. And we got a Tenderloin Tuesday with our friends over at the other place. You can get a half-pound hand-breaded pork tenderloin and fries, $8.99 is one of the best deals in town. You also can get a 25-ounce domestic mug for just $5. So I'm sure by now you have heard, but I want to read it again just in case some of you missed it potentially. So there was an announcement that was made earlier today that the Royals are going to hold a special event regarding the club's future tomorrow at 10 a.m. The owner of the team is going to be there. The governor of the state of Missouri is going to be there. The mayor of Kansas City is going to be there. Now, Rob, I'm not sure if it is public knowledge where this is going to be, but this is we're announcing the stadium press conference. Now, I don't know if that means get their official rendering of what the stadium is going to look like, but they did announce their intentions, shake hands, do all the things that you do when this is happening. I want to talk about two things today out in the open. One was controversy, and I use that very loosely, that happened earlier on social media. I think it was just a fun back and forth, a fun conversation. I'll get to it in a bit. Please do not let what is currently happening with the Royals be a rain cloud for what the future looks like for the organization. I, too, am a little bit worried. Kauffman Stadium is all I know. I am 37 years old. The stadium has been up every day of my life. We all have our own unique ways of getting to the Truman Sports Complex. You like certain restaurants around the Truman Sports Complex. We all have incredible memories attached to going to Chiefs games and going to Royals games. And tomorrow is the official end of the Truman Sports Complex. So we will have to create new traditions. We will have to make new memories. The stadiums are going to be in two drastically different places. They're also not going to be connected in the same way that they've been for all of our lives. But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. It is just a different thing. It is a new thing. And I think that in order for Kansas City to continue to grow, to get the events that I think people want Kansas City to have, if Nashville is getting a Super Bowl, why can't Kansas City get a Super Bowl? If Minneapolis got one, if Detroit got one, then why is Kansas City not in line to get a Super Bowl? We were never getting a Super Bowl with the current structure. I now believe that we are going to get one at some point in the next 8 years. I think that Kansas City is going to host a Super Bowl. We will have the ability to say that in our lifetime, Kansas City has hosted a World Series. We have hosted the World Cup. We've hosted the NFL Draft. We've hosted a Super Bowl. We have hosted some of the absolute biggest sporting events that the world has to offer. Now, I don't know about you guys. I can't speak for everybody and how many other baseball stadiums that you've been to, but I love the concept and idea of downtown baseball. I've been to Coors Field a couple of times, and if you were telling me that the Royals are trying to create that kind of atmosphere, that kind of buzz around the stadium, sign me up for it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to go to a bar, hear some live music, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, walk over to the stadium, go to the game, and then after the game is over, continue the fun times and continue to celebrate it. It is different. It is new. It necessarily doesn't mean that it will be bad. And also, again, I want to continue to reiterate, please do not let the Royals' current record put a rain cloud over this very exciting development. There was never going to be an ideal time to announce the new stadium. You want to know why? Because the Royals are rarely good in our lifetime. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here. I'm in a good mood. You're in a good mood. It's sunshiny and spring is here and summer is right around the corner, but I got to shoot it straight. The Royals very rarely in our lives have been good. They've made the playoffs 3 times in my lifetime. 3. They're not a good franchise. They have not been a good franchise. So if you were waiting and expecting there to be this magical window of when we all were going to be super happy and the Royals were playing first place baseball and they were the hottest team in baseball and then they were going to announce this beautiful stadium that everybody likes and approved, I will tell you that outside of an 18-month stretch of our lives, there has never been a good time for the Royals to announce they were leaving the Truman Sports Complex. Ever. There's never been a good time for them to leave. They haven't been good for prolonged periods of time. Hell, even after the last 2 years where they've been good, competitive, you follow that up with the 3rd year. They're the worst team in baseball. They're 7-16, and they're getting booed in the second homestand. There was never going to be this perfect window of which it was this magical time for the Royals to announce this significant change to their franchise. So let's just get it out of the way. And tomorrow is that day. Tomorrow we will hear from the owner. You will hear from the governor. You will hear from the mayor. You will hear from the business people. And they will start to lay out the plan, which is going to be one of the most transformative things to happen in our lifetime to our city. The streetcar is cool. It did not transform us in this way. The new airport is cool. They just built the airport right across the street from the other airport and just modernized it. This is talking about changing communities. This is talking about changing the way that we live, the way that we move around the city, talking about it changing the way that you go to sporting events, changing the kind of events that you are going to have the opportunity to go to. This is the most significant thing, or one of the most significant things to happen to the structure of Kansas City in our lifetime. I'm really excited for tomorrow, really excited to talk to the major players. At some point today, we are going to talk about, there is a tweet that is going around now. I can't verify how accurate this is, how real this is, but all I can tell you is this is what the people are saying. So Kansas City Councilman Jonathan Duncan, who has been on the show before. Remember, he came in the show. He came in studio. So he sat down with Sam McDowell, and he told the Kansas City Star that the Royal Stadium location that is going to be briefed tomorrow is not at Washington Square Park. So the area that we have been talking about for the last 2.5 years at 100 and East Pershing Road, he is saying that's not where the stadium is going to be. Now, I'm hearing it's going to be really, really close, but maybe not exactly Washington Square Park. Obviously, we'll get the full plan tomorrow. Now, it is important to note that the city, they've been calling it the Washington Square Park / Crown Center location. Again, we'll find out more information tomorrow. We tried to get the guy on the show. He's obviously too busy to come on the show, but he's not too busy to sit down with the Kansas City Star. I don't know what's real. I know that we know the general vicinity and area of where the stadium is going to be. So maybe we don't have the absolute one-to-one coordinates today. We'll get that tomorrow at this time. I think we all, social media, are very upset at me today. So I got a tweet from somebody, and this was what the tweet was about. The tweet was, tearing down an iconic baseball stadium so we can build one next to a strip mall of chain restaurants is lame. Every city wants their version of the Battery, but it's one of the worst experiences that I've been to. I've never been to Atlanta Stadium. Everybody that I know has been to Atlanta Stadium tells me that it's absolutely amazing. This is one person's word. This is one person's opinion. Take it for what you want. I don't think that Kauffman is an iconic stadium, nor really close to being an iconic stadium, for a couple of different reasons. One, the Royals haven't had a lot of iconic players play at the stadium. Seems very, very important. Number two, they haven't had a lot. Cool. It's incredibly cool. The fountains are very unique. It's very Kansas City. The crown in the middle of the stadium, the massive scoreboard, very cool, very Kansas City. I don't think that makes you an iconic stadium. I think there are, in fact, very few iconic stadiums around baseball. I think there are very few iconic stadiums around sports. Maybe a better way of comparing it is, I know that I have my fun with Kansas, but nobody is denying your home basketball court. That is an iconic venue. If you've been to Allen and you've been to Kauffman, you think they're on the same level? Rob, you're a season ticket holder at one of them. You and I have thrown out the first pitch of the Royals game. Are they on the same level? Because Allen Fieldhouse is on the same level as Lambeau Field. Allen Fieldhouse is on the same level to me as Madison Square Garden. It's on the same level to me as the Big House or the Horseshoe or LSU at night. We're talking about the absolute iconic bucket list items. I want to watch a game in this location. Respectfully, that's not what Kauffman is. And anything that you feel about Kauffman and how iconic it is, I guarantee you this new stadium will have it. I'm guessing this new stadium's going to have a scoreboard. I'm just going to go out on that limb and guess they're going to have a scoreboard there. And why would they not keep the scoreboard the logo of the team? I'm also going to guess that at this stadium, for the city of fountains, for a city that is obviously very knowing about its history, I'm also going to guess that they're going to have fountains there. You want to know why? Because we want there to be fountains there at the stadium. So if they're going to have the crown vision at the new stadium and they're going to have the fountains at the stadium, I don't know what more we need. Let's play baseball. I love Kauffman. We all love Kauffman. We could take hours and hours of phone calls of memories that we have at Kauffman Stadium. I still remember the first time I ever went to Kauffman Stadium. I'd never seen that much grass in my entire life. I was blown away by how it was. I remember being at the game when their first game after the renovations. I was at game 1 of the World Series. I was at game 7 of the World Series. I was at the 2003 Buck Night game where Ken Harvey hit the home run in the rain. We all have our Kauffman Stadium stories. It's just not an iconic stadium. Moving on from Kauffman Stadium is fine. Moving on from Kauffman Stadium is necessary. It's time to move on from Kauffman Stadium. It's time for the next generation of Royals fans. One day, you're going to take your kid to new Kauffman Stadium. You and your kid are going to get on the streetcar, and you're going to take your kid to the new stadium, and they'll have a statue of Alex Gordon, and they'll have a statue about Eric Hosmer, and you'll share with them all of the same great stories that we have from 14 and 15. And you know what? They will have their opportunities to tell their kids stories about growing up at new Kauffman Stadium, because that's what sports does. Coming up on the other side, we'll continue to take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. We'll bounce back and forth between a little bit of Royals baseball. We'll also bounce back and forth for the NFL draft. We are a couple days away from the draft. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see Casey's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com, Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
It happens every day. An unsuspecting homeowner looks up and sees spots on the ceiling after it rains. They didn't know their roof had hail and wind damage from a storm maybe a year or two ago when they weren't home. Now they've got roof damage and a whole lot more. Don't let that happen to you, especially since JR and Company has a free and hassle-free way to find out what's up there. Just visit jrstormcheck.com, plug in your address, and we'll pull a multi-year storm report. If there's nothing there, you have free peace of mind. And if there is, we'll work with your insurance company to get it taken care of before your claim window closes and before you see spots. Your free online storm check from JR and Company only takes a minute at jrstormcheck.com.
Always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrstormcheck.com.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. How about being Google's highest review rated and your first maintenance is free? Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
Excellence, growth,
and harmony.
What's got everyone talking?
That would be Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill on 135th and Null and 119th and Quivira.
What's got everyone talking?
Everyone's talking about our daily specials, the best burgers and wings in town, great selection of beer and spirits. Oh, it's the dozens of TVs showing your favorite game.
That's what's got everyone talking.
This is Giannis, and now we're talking at Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
The NFL offseason is here, but the action never stops. The draft is right around the corner, and Heed the Call NFL podcast with Dan Hanzus and Mark Sessler is your pro football destination. Prospects, team needs, and pick-by-pick coverage of draft weekend.
Heed the Call covers all things NFL, and we have fun. No fake hot takes or boring data dumps here. Just entertaining football talk from your favorite buds at the bar.
So come hang out with the Heed the Call heroes for football news, analysis, and mirth. All the mirth. Follow and listen to the Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to read to you really quickly what Channel 41 is reporting. This is from Todd Palmer, confirming what Sam McDowell is reporting. Despite the city council's laser focus on Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shield's headquarters in Kansas City, multiple sources have told me that the Royals announcement will be about a downtown ballpark, but instead of Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shield's location, it will be at an unnamed site nearby. So, Rob, the Star is reporting it. 41 is reporting it. At least the location that we have been saying for the last, 3 3 years of where the Washington Square Park location was going to be. So basically in front of the Westin Crown Center, I guess that would be east. Maybe I got my direction a little bit off. East of Union Station, it does not appear that is where the stadium is going to be. I do not know where the stadium is going to be now. I have not been told by anybody. I trust Sam McDowell's reporting. I trust Todd Palmer's reporting. They are telling us that that is not where the stadium is going to be. It is unnamed. I sent a text out earlier, and it has been unread so far. So, and I know you guys will know, but I just want to pass you guys the information. Let's head to the phone lines right now. Let's talk to Matt Verderam. He is with Sports Illustrated. Let's talk a little bit of NFL draft as we are a couple days away. Matt, how you doing, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Matt, I have asked every draft person we have had this question. I haven't asked you this question yet. Where do you think this year's draft is strong? Where do you think this year's draft is weak?
I think it's weak at running back outside of Jeremiah Love. I think it's weak at quarterback. D tackle, I think it's weak there. I think I feel like tight end there's some depth to it, but there's not a lot. Sadiq is the main guy. You like Stowers out of Vanderbilt, but it's not a good class at tight end. I think where it's deep, edge rusher is very deep. Corner is pretty deep. Maybe not the big time corners outside of the lane, but a lot of good corners. I mean, guys who can start. Receiver, I think there's good depth there. So, and then tackle's weird because there's a lot of right tackles, not a lot of left. There might not be one starting left tackle in this draft, but there might be 6 starting right tackles. So that is kind of an odd. I wouldn't say it's deep, but it's a unique draft to tackle.
Do you think Kansas City is going to grab one of those starting right tackles?
I think they would be insane to draft a tackle at 9. Now, 29 or maybe 40. I don't think they get one at 40. I think they probably have to do it at 29. I think it's in play. You know, whether we're talking about Blake Miller of Clemson or I think Jaden Proctor's gone at Alabama. But, if he were there somehow, Caleb Lomu out of Utah, I think those guys are in play. You know, could they be gone? Yeah. Could they be there? Yeah. I think to draft one at 9 would be they would deserve to get eviscerated for that. I mean, you're talking about because at 9 it's going to be one of probably 2 guys. You know, Monroe Freeling out of Georgia maybe slides in there, but it would probably be Francis Mauigoa out of Miami or Spencer Fano out of Utah. I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people in the league that think Fano's going to be a guard. There's 32-inch arms. That is at the bottom threshold for a lot of teams. They didn't even consider drafting him as a tackle. Most teams want 33 to 34 plus inch arms. If he's a guard for the Chiefs, it's a non-starter. Where's he going to play? Now, we know I think everybody feels like is the best offensive lineman in this class. He's a right tackle all day long. But the news came out yesterday. He's got a herniated disc. And, yeah, he doesn't need surgery right now, but if he needs surgery, then he's out 3 months. If it flares up in camp, he might be out for the whole year. I mean, that is a massive risk for a guy who's over 300 pounds. I just don't think the Chiefs can do that. I think they would be crazy to take a right tackle at 9.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderam joining us on the show. He is with Sports Illustrated. Let me play devil's advocate just a little bit when it comes to right tackle. Now, I want to be clear that's not what I want them to do, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they took Spencer Fano, for example, with the 9th overall pick. There's always been an emphasis on the trenches, so I think that matters. I think they have always sided with let's try to protect Patrick Mahomes up front. They don't have a 2027 plan. I also think it's possible that they don't trust Jalen Moore nearly as much as we think they trust him. That would be my argument for them taking a tackle at 9. It doesn't sound like you agree.
Well, here's my I think everything you just said is reasonable. My counter to that is they paid Jalen Moore $15 million a year for 2 years and they signed. That is a meaningful amount of money. I mean, that is one of the top 10 cap hits on their sheet this year. If they don't trust Jalen Moore, that's a disaster of a signing. Like, you have to answer for that. Like, you can't pay some guy $15 million a year as an insurance policy. The league doesn't work like that. You can't do that. if this is a Josh Simmons question, which I don't know that it is, I want to be clear about that. But if it is, if they're sitting there in their meetings and saying, well, do we trust this guy showing up for 17 games? Do we trust he's bought in? That's a disaster. You just took this guy in the first round knowing, hey, there are a lot of questions about his maturity, a lot of them. I mean, that was well known around leagues. I can tell you personally, I had a conversation with an AFC head coach down at the owners' meetings last year, and Simmons, his name came out of nowhere, and it was, hey, look, love the player, would never trust his maturity. Well, that showed itself last year. So if you're taking a tackle, it's because either you don't trust that Simmons is going to be accountable and show up, or you think Jalen Moore is no good. And if that's the case, in either direction, then you have completely failed at the tackle position the last 2 years despite putting major assets into it. And I just think I'm all for protecting Mahomes. Like, that is obviously the way to win. Who is he throwing to? If any of these top three guys go down for any amount of time, who is rushing the passer opposite of George Karlaftis on this team right now? Like, if there's Reuben Bain or Carnell Tate and they take Spencer Fano, I can tell you right now, they're getting an F on my grade sheet. Like, you just cannot do that based on the rest of that roster.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderam, talking a little bit of NFL draft. I said this earlier in the week. I want to run it by you. I think there's only two players that would be largely approved by Chiefs fans and would not be polarizing. You mentioned Reuben Bain. I'm talking about where they are at 9. Maybe that's a better way of classifying it. Where they are at 9. I think Bain at 9. I think if there is a chance that Carnell Tate drops at 9. I'm not saying that they're the only two good players, but I think I could make pretty convincing arguments for almost everybody else that they could potentially draft at 9 on why they shouldn't draft that player. I think those are the only two guys that Chiefs Kingdom is going to wrap their arms around and say A+ draft pick.
I agree. I think they're the two best guys that they could possibly take at 9. Within reason, like you said. I mean, Arvell Reese isn't going to be there. I would be shocked if David Bailey was there. Obviously, if those two guys, one of them somehow got there, then sure. I think Downs is a tremendous talent, but you're right. Like, the positional value, I think, would turn some people off. I'm of the opinion, I think Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU, I think that kid is going to be an all-pro. I mean, you watch him, he can do everything. He is a great young talent. But there would be some people who would say, well, the Chiefs don't take corners that high, and do they really invest in them? And that's a fair question, because the Chiefs have never invested in a corner long-term under Brett Veach. The other guys there, I mean, Mekhi Lemon, some people will love it. Some people say, well, he's undersized. He's been kind of, more of a slot receiver. And then obviously you'd also be looking at, a guy like Jordan Tyson, who's got all the talent in the world, but he's been limited with injuries. I agree. I think Bain and Tate, of guys that are reasonably available, there's a reasonable chance they're available at 9. I think those are the two guys you would look at and say, really hard to pick that apart. Like, if you're just complaining to complain if the Chiefs take one of those two guys. I think that would be a home run.
Right now, we're talking a little bit of NFL draft with our guy, Matt Verderam. Let's focus in on Bain a little bit more. He was phenomenal in the college football playoff. I don't think he had a great regular season. I also got questions about the arm length. Does that bother you with him?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Reuben Bain is going to be a very good pro. But, yeah, it bothers me. He's got 30 and 7/8-inch arms. I mean, that is minuscule. That is T-Rex level in the NFL. I mean, it is. It's just, most guys at a minimum 33, 32 and a half. Some guys are 35, 36. I mean, that's a big difference. And for people out there who understandably would say, oh, come on, who cares, 30 and 7/8 or 32. In the NFL, it matters. Okay, when you're dealing with that small of a margin, it matters. Now, doesn't mean he can't be a unicorn, but that's what he would be. He would be a unicorn based on, and I know they remeasured and his pro day or whatever it was. And, now he's got 32-inch arms magically. I'm surprised they didn't make him 40-inch arms. Look, it is what it is. He's got short arms. His production during the regular season was fine. His production in the college football playoff, he was the best player in the college football playoff. He was unbelievable. I mean, go back and watch those games. It's insane how dominant he is in those 4 games. But yeah, look, I think if they took him at 9, the floor for him even with the arm length, I think the floor is that he's a very solid player. And I think that the ceiling is that he's a perennial Pro Bowl type. I mean, he's a really, really good player. And I think for the Chiefs, you'd be thrilled to walk away with him.
Are you hearing any smoke that the Chiefs would trade up?
No, I'm not. In fact, I've heard over the last month or so, just from talking to people, that there's an expectation of anything that they would trade down. Now, is it possible? Like, I always hesitate with stuff like this because then you get the person who tweets at you who's like, you said this, that, yeah. Like, it's the draft. Anything is possible. They could, look, you're going to make calls. And this is the thing I think that gets misconstrued sometimes. If you're Brett Veach, you're calling everybody right now. You're calling the Cardinals. You want to know, hey, look, just so we know what would be the cost. Hey, Mike Borgonzi of the Titans, who we're really good friends with, just want to know what's the cost. Hey, John Harbaugh over in New York, what's the cost? You need to know those things. You need to have an idea so that if the opportunity presents itself, you can move. Now, I'll give you an example. Okay, the Browns are at 6. I think everybody in the league feels like Maui Noah or Tate would be their guy. But what if they're both gone? What if Maui Noah goes to the Cardinals and Tate goes to the Giants? Maybe the Browns are sitting there going, all right, nobody we really love here. We'd rather trade back. And what if David Bailey's on the board, or even maybe it's Bain, and the Chiefs just say, you know what, we're worried Washington or New Orleans is going to take him. We will move up. We'll give up our third-round pick to go up 3 spots, and we're going to get him, and we'll move back later on, and we'll recoup a couple of assets. Like, they could do that, but I think for them to move up in this draft with the number 9 pick, it would have to be something where they just felt like, wow, we can't believe this guy's here. I would be very surprised if they go up to 3, because that's probably going to mean giving up pick 29. And I just don't think they would do that. And I don't think they should. I think that would be a bad idea.
My ideal scenario, and we're talking to Matt Verderame right now, Todd Palmer is going to join us at 3 o'clock to talk about where the stadium could potentially go downtown. We're going to get the official announcement tomorrow. My ideal would be that the Jets get Arvell Reese with the 2nd overall pick, and Bailey potentially falls just a little bit to number 5, and the Chiefs move up to number 5 with the Giants, and they make the selection at David Bailey with the 5th overall pick. That would be my ideal. Is that a pipe dream?
No, it's not, because I first of all, I think Reese is going to the Jets. I do. Could Bailey go there? Yes. I think everybody for 3 months around the NFL thought Arvell Reese was going to the Jets. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe. I've learned over the years, like, stick with what you've heard for a long, long time. I think Reese makes the most sense for them because he's position versatility, all that stuff. If he doesn't go there, the next spot would probably be 4. Yeah, he could go to Arizona. My guess is Arizona's probably looking more at the offensive line. They desperately need help on the right side. Now we know it makes a lot of sense there. If he doesn't go to the Titans, who, look, they could take him, but they also got Jermaine Johnson. They got John Franklin Myers this offseason. Jeremiah loves staring them in the face. They've got to help Cam Ward. He gets to 5. Like, he's not going 5 to the Giants. The Giants are not going to take him. They already have pass rush. So that would be where the Chiefs could go, hey. And by the way, Cleveland, too. Like, they could also trade up to 6 and get him, but maybe you want to ward off anybody else. And if you're the Giants, you'd rather trade pick 5 to the Chiefs than trade it to the Commanders for obvious reasons, right? So there's a lot of ability to do that. Look, one thing about Bailey, he's not a good run defender. That guy, if you watch him, there is nobody in this draft that can rush the passer like David Bailey. I mean, he is – there are tapes of him against good teams where it is just comical how dominant he just is around the edge and gone. So, look, if the Chiefs traded up for Bailey, you could understand it. I mean, he is the kind of player who can single-handedly take over a game because of his pass rush skills.
Let's say that Kansas City went wide receiver with the 9th overall pick. Are they more likely to take Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson?
I would say Tyson just because, look, I think Lemon has a higher floor. I think he's going to be a very good pro. I think he's going to be a guy who has a long career, a solid career. But Tyson's ceiling is just astronomical. You could make a real case Tyson's a guy with 1,500 yards in the NFL. He is that level of player. The problem is in Colorado 2022, ACL, MCL, PCL tear. Now, to be fair to him, after basically sitting out all 2023, played 3 games. Came back in 24, had a great year. Played 12 games, over 1,000 yards for the Sun Devils. And then he broke his collarbone at the end of the season. Came back last year, was very productive, but he had hamstring injuries that really lingered until like March. I think they would take Tyson because I think they look at it like, Tate, if he's not there, Lemon's more of a slot guy. Yeah, you could put him outside. He's not really a true X. Tyson is. Tyson is a legitimate, we can put this guy in the X position. They have not had an X receiver for Tyreek Hill. So I could see them doing that just based on that need.
My fear with Jordan Tyson would be just always hurt in college, normally doesn't work out in the NFL.
No, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't take him at 9. That's why. Because he's hurt constantly. And I will say this about the Chiefs, and this is true of any team in the top 10, but they're very unique because most teams that are picking the top 10 are not in the middle of a dynastic run. They have a couple things going for them in the sense that, look, it's obvious, right? They have Mahomes. They've got Andy Reid. Like, if things break right for the Chiefs next year, they could absolutely go back to the Super Bowl. I don't think there's any – I mean, I think they right now have the 4th best odds to go to the Super Bowl and win it. They could do that. But if they screw this up, if they don't draft well, you could look back and go, that's the day the dynasty died. Because they have real holes at corner. They have real holes at edge, real holes at receiver. Like, those top 3 picks that they have, 9, 29, 40, they have to nail 2 of them. They're probably not going to nail all 3. That's fine. They've got to nail down 2 of them. And if they screw up the 9 pick because they take Tyson and the guy plays 20 games in 3 years, like, that's on them. They know he's injury riddled. They know that. Every team in the league knows that. So, to me, if you're Kansas City, you got to walk out at 9, taking a guy that you feel like, look, man, there are no real red flags with this dude. He's a really good player. There's no off-field stuff. I'm not dealing with a million injuries. I think that's what you do, even if it's a Caleb Downs and it's not a premium position, but he's a really good football player.
Matt, I've kind of convinced myself that they're not going to pick at 74. I think the 74 is going to be bait for them to go get what they really, really need. Whether it's moving up from 9, whether it's moving up from 29, and let's say they get to 22 to go get a player that they really like, a corner or a wide receiver. If you had to ask me right now, I do not feel the Chiefs are going to make a pick at 74.
I tend to agree. The thing I'm watching with them, not that they could move up at 9, because they could. It depends on the board and how things fall. I look at 29. 29 in a weird way is almost more interesting to me because, to your point, if they were to package 74, they could get up to like 18, 19 by most draft charts. That's a huge jump. That is a huge jump. So you wonder. Let's just live in a world. Let's say they draft Ruben Bate at 9. Okay, let's set it and forget it. That's okay. That's fine. They took him. And let's say they're sitting there and they're like, man, we love Jordan Tyson, but the injuries just really, we can't take him at 9. We don't feel good about it. And a couple, picks go by, a few more picks go by, and they get to like pick, I don't know, whatever, 18. So I think I forget if it's, I think Pittsburgh's actually a little later. I think it might be Carolina. Maybe they're 19th. But the point, 18, 19, 20, that range. It's Minnesota. What if Tyson got there and the Chiefs just said, you know what? We're going to hold on to 40 and we're going to walk out of the first round with Bain and Tyson, or Bain and Lemon, or maybe Delane falls. We're going to take Bain and Delane. Like, if you're the Chiefs, 2 or 3 guys who really make a difference. And if using 74 to go get one of those guys is what they do, that to me is fine.
That is Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated joining us on the show to get you ready for the NFL Draft. Matt, great stuff, my man. We'll catch up with you after we know who the Chiefs select.
You got to do it anytime.
Absolutely. That is our guy, Matt Verderame, joining us on the show. Let me remind you guys that our draft guests are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, from everywhere you are, that's the benefit of the
football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $400 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $400 in bonus bets. That's just for getting started. When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back those stats up, you can head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, matchups, all in one location, all on the same app, so you can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need on America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't miss your shot. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official partner of the NBA and also the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued to non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days on street, which apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Growing a brand is hard, but reaching the right customers shouldn't be. Meet Outcomes from Viant. We've built an intelligent platform that handles the complexity of digital advertising for you. Powered by advanced AI, we help your brand show up in the right places at the right time and ensure that every dollar you spend leads to a real business result. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 80.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Todd Palmer is going to join us on the show coming up in just a bit. So this is why we're having him on. The Kansas City Star is reporting that the location that we all have thought the stadium is going to be, it is not going to be there. They are going to make the announcement tomorrow. The story that came from Todd Palmer is as follows. Confirming what the Star is reporting, despite the city council's laser focus on Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shields of Kansas City headquarters, multiple sources have told me that the Royals' announcement tomorrow will be a downtown ballpark, but instead of Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shields location, it will be at an unnamed site nearby. So that is what the Kansas City Star is reporting. That is what Action 41 is reporting. Now, I don't know what that means. Somebody just sent me a little bit of, hey, this is where we think it's going to go. I don't know. I got a bunch of questions. Is there a chance that they tear down Crown Center and that now becomes the new ballpark district that they are talking about? There's a bunch of questions that I think need to be asked about this, and we will ask them, and we'll also get the answers tomorrow when the Royals give us the announcement. We'll start that conversation with Todd Palmer of 41 News coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Before we do that, I'd like to have this conversation with you guys very quickly. Rob and I had the opportunity to see the Michael Jackson biopic screening yesterday. This is how I thought. And Rob and I talked about it a little bit, but I kind of wanted to wait to have this conversation on the air. I would say you have to determine going into it what your expectations are for the movie. If you are expecting a movie that tells the full depiction of Michael Jackson's life, this movie is not for you. It is not for you. A lot of the things that we think about Michael Jackson or we feel we know about Michael Jackson, they do not talk about in this movie. They don't even really allude to those things in the movie. I think we were all wondering how they were going to handle it. I saw how they handled it. It just never came up in the movie at all. One of my issues with biopics, and we see them just popping up in movies, is we just speed through their lives. Now, I don't know how you can tell anybody's life story in 2 hours, especially somebody like Michael Jackson. I don't want to spoil too much of the movie, but we quite literally go from Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 to him making Off the Wall in about 15 minutes. How? How do we go from Mike the Kid singing ABC and I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus to he is now making his first album? I don't know how he did it. It just Mike, one scene was a kid, the next scene he's a teenager, and he's singing Off the Wall. Blew my mind as I was sitting there watching it. But if you are going into it with the mindset of, I really like Michael Jackson's music, I want to see a movie that accurately recreates the biggest moments and biggest scenes in Michael Jackson's life, I think this movie accomplishes that. This movie makes you feel good about Michael Jackson. They play the songs in the Beat It video and the Thriller video and the jackets and the fashion and the glove and all the cool things about Michael Jackson. If you are going into it wanting that perspective and with that mindset, this movie will check a lot of boxes for you. But for example, if you want this movie to be like Ray, this movie is not like Ray. Ray shows a heroin addict who was exceptional at music. That is not what this movie showcases you. So I think it's a lot about expectations. The reviews, I think, are going to look at it through two different lenses. If you're looking at it as, I want to sing along with the movie and feel good about Mike, you will give this movie 4 stars out of 5. If you are expecting a comprehensive, here's the story of Michael Jackson, that is not what this movie accomplishes.
I feel like I probably fell into the camp of the expectations made me a little frustrated because I walked away being like, that's not the story of Michael Jackson. It's part of the story, and the part of the story they tell in the movie is actually very well told. It is his rise from Jackson 5 to becoming the king of pop. He had the issue on the Pepsi commercial shoot. It talks about his very fractured relationship with his father. Like, that part of the story is actually done well. but it basically as a movie is a concert. Like, I hate to make this analogy, but like for people who their wives, girlfriends, daughters took them to go see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie, that's what this is. The music, incredible. It's booming, it's loud, it's fantastic. It's all great, but it's not the full story. Now, I've done some digging, and digging is a stretch. Supposedly there's a 4-hour script that the studio said no thanks to 4 hours.
Which I'm guessing the 4-hour version is the movie that everybody would want.
Correct. And they're now discussing if this one does well, they might greenlight a sequel, so it's basically, chopped up into 2 parts.
I don't know how you do this movie in a sequel and you leave the second movie feeling good. Like, I don't want to give I don't want to give the ending away, but you definitely leave this movie feeling great about Michael Jackson. Like the way that it ends, the storyline that it paints throughout the end of the movie, when you see the end of the movie, you will say, I feel great. I don't know how you make Michael 2 and feel great about it. That's why, if I was the director of this, it really should have been 2 parts. Kid Michael Jackson is a movie within itself. Him trying to figure himself out, the transition into becoming an adult, the relationship with his father, the relationship with his mother, his relationship with his brothers, that is a movie within itself. And then there is, how do I transition from being the most successful Michael Jackson movies in there?
There's a part 2. And the text line's saying Lionsgate wants a part 2 or is trying to get a part 2 or is greenlit a part 2. The text line's got 3 different answers. But if there is a part 2 to this movie, without giving away the ending, you are not going to walk away happy. But Michael Jackson's legacy is extremely complicated. And there are people who are 25 years old right now listening who, when they think of Michael Jackson, they don't think of Thriller. They don't think of the Off the Wall album. They don't think of him at the Super Bowl doing that incredible halftime. They think about everything else. And one thing I liked about this movie, whether it's a part 1 or just in general, is it had Easter eggs to those things we know happened in Michael's life
it definitely
later.
Did.
It had the little bit of like the painkiller stuff. It had it was starting to hint at stuff down the line, and you're like, oh, if there is a part 2, I see where they're going with it. I will say, not one thing that I think is universal in this movie, Coleman Domingo is incredible.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor.
I don't know if he's going to win an award for that, but he's a great...
Because I thought that Coleman Domingo was really good, and I thought they just wasted Nia Long as Catherine.
Yes.
I thought they wasted Nia Long's character.
She basically just emoted the whole movie. No talking, just emotions.
She didn't have a scene. Like, maybe I was going into it with the wrong expectation. But in King Richard, if you've ever seen King Richard, there's a scene in King Richard where the movie is obviously about their father, but there is a scene with the mom where they are having a very spirited conversation in the kitchen. An amazing scene. There is not that scene in this movie at all. And I was expecting, hey, you got Nia Long in here. I'm thinking, hey, let's have this moment. Where's your moment in this movie? And at no point did they ever give us one. Someone said, so you're saying this is like This Is It. If you like This Is It, the documentary, you will absolutely like this. It's the same. It is the same. It will show you the creative process. And some of the moments in there are really cool. Like when they get to Thriller, it's really cool. When they get to Beat It, it's really, really cool. How they handle the Pepsi when his hair gets caught on fire. A really, really good moment in the movie. They cover those things really, really well. Again, if you were going into this with the expectation of we are going to tell the complete long karaoke Michael Jackson because I'm watching it for the movie portion, that is not what I would go into it with the expectation of. Someone just sent in, Fox 4 is out here saying that Washington Park is not going to be the spot. You know what? We're actually going to get to that next with Todd Palmer. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
What's up, fools? Main event Jey Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The daily boosts make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy a few minutes for yourself? Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We have our sump pump special going. $200 off a main pump, $400 off a battery backup system. Call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here or wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Join us at the Fans Draft Party at the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill on April 23rd for your chance to win $965 in our draft contest. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Todd Palmer. Let me read to you his tweet first. So the Kansas City Star is reporting that at least the location that I think many people thought the stadium was going to be, that is not the case. So this is what Todd Palmer says. Confirming what Sam McDowell for the Kansas City Star reported, despite the city council's laser focus on Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shields of Kansas City location, multiple sources have told me that the Royals' announcement tomorrow will be about a downtown ballpark, but instead of Washington Square Park and the former Blue Cross Blue Shields location, it will be at an unnamed site nearby. So I think it is very clear where the city wants the stadium to be. We will find out tomorrow where the Royals intend for it to be. I do think it is important to note the city has been the one kind of mapping out where the stadium is going to be. Tomorrow, we will find out the definitive answer. Let's talk to Todd Palmer about it from 41 KSHB. Todd, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you, C-Dot?
Doing fantastic, man. So, as best to your ability, explain your tweets to us.
Well, I mean, obviously Washington Square Park's been the focus, but the ordinance did say the Crown Center area. I think the general idea, the general thinking there had been that was probably more for the ballpark village to redevelop some areas that have struggled in that neighborhood, right? Like that seemed to make a lot of sense, but it turns out that the stadium's actually going to be built in that Crown Center area as opposed to Washington Square Park.
When we say Crown Center area, can we kind of specify that a little bit more? Like, I'm wondering what people think of as Crown Center with the shops and Fritz's and all of those things. Is there a chance that the stadium could be built over that?
I don't think you're going to lose any existing retail with the plan. So I don't think it's going to be Crown Center itself. You know, and look, there's some areas that obviously can't be, right? Like they're not tearing down Union Station. The World War I Museum and Memorial is not going anywhere. It's not going to involve Children's Mercy Hospital, of course. So I think people will be surprised because it kind of comes out of nowhere. But look, you know, last week I had done a Q&A trying to answer fan questions, and somebody had reached out and said, "Hey, you're making it sound like Washington Square Park's a done deal," and it's not. And I was like, "Well, I'm just quoting the ordinance, you know, because the ordinance and the city council very much was laser focused, like I said, on Washington Square Park." And I think a lot of even city council members were surprised to find out that it's not, in fact, going to be Washington Square Park, because that's been the assumption all along in the conversations they've had.
The city, I guess the city has been very clear on, we are not going to build over any existing business. We are not going to displace anybody's home. Is the Royals plan lining up with that now with these changes?
I think nobody's home is going to be displaced now. It's not going to do anything quite that drastic. But yeah, I mean, there will have to be some space cleared one way or another. And that was true with Washington Square Park too, right? Like you were always going to have to deal with the Blue Cross Blue Shield building. So that was all, you know, that was always part of, you know, I mean, it's a vacant building right now in terms of the Blue Cross Blue Shield building. But look, there's a lot of empty corporate space around that area now as it is. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's some consolidation there.
Right now, we're talking to Todd Palmer with 41 News, just getting his thoughts on his report earlier today about the stadium. Are they doing this because of the space issue? Because one question I think a lot of people had is, at least the the area that was proposed by the city was such a small location that it seemed very difficult to me to build the baseball stadium that they want and also the entertainment district that they want. Is this plan largely going to be because the Royals need more space for their ideas?
Yeah, that's a question we'll have to ask John tomorrow about what their thinking was on that. Obviously, the Washington Square Park site was about 11 and a half, a little over 11 and a half acres, which is barely big enough to fit a stadium. The new site, I'm told, is more like 15 acres. So there is more space. It's a bit of a head scratcher when you think about it, but the parcel viewer says that it is in fact 15 acres. So
right now we're talking to Todd Palmer here for a couple of more minutes. Do you like this idea that they're proposing?
Look, I honestly, I thought, I love the K. When they announced they were going downtown, I assumed it was going to be East Village for a long time. I warmed up to the Crossroads site that got voted down. I really thought Washington Square Park was the best option left. Obviously, the Royals have other plans as far as that goes, but I think it will work. I don't know that it's going to have the same dazzling skyline view that maybe Washington Square Park offered, but I think it'll work in terms of what they're looking for creating kind of a densely packed neighborhood feel, and look, if you got to remember, like north of that area, there's some surface parking, but there's a lot of surface parking south of that area. When you get, south of the Shook Hardy Bacon building and all that, there's some big open parking lots there that could come into play for tailgating or could be ripe for redevelopment in other ways.
That is Todd Palmer joining us on the show today. He is with 41 News talking about the downtown stadium. Todd, great stuff, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Take care.
Absolutely. That's Todd Palmer joining us on the show. Rob, I don't want this to sound like a cop-out. I understand my job and I have to have like a firm opinion on things. I don't really have a lot of clarity right now on where the stadium is going to be, how it's going to be located. And maybe the issue is for basically the last 2 weeks, I have had a very clear understanding of where the stadium is going to be. There is a strip of land. It also was something very clear that needed to be torn down. And I was, okay, they're going to put the stadium here. They'll figure out space-wise. They got to do some things. They will be able to figure it out. So I think now in the 2 hours of figuring it out, I need to see what the rendering looks like now and what parts of the city are now going to be affected, because it sounds like the stadium is just going to face a different direction. It is going to be in the same general location. Like if you are wondering, now are they building the stadium in the East Village? No, they are not building the stadium in the East Village. It is still going to be around where we thought it was going to be. It is just not going to have the exact same footprint as we thought. Now, I do think this is a space issue. It is hard for me to believe it is not a space issue. If Todd Palmer is saying the idea that the city has is an 11-acre idea and the idea that the Royals have is a 15-acre idea, the Royals are getting all the space they need to do what they want to do. The Royals were not giving up their idea of a ballpark village. They were not giving that up to go downtown. That's coming with them too. You are also helping pay for that as well. So I do think this was a space issue. Was there enough space to do what they wanted to do with the 11 acres? So no, we're going to create a footprint that we don't have to tear up too much. We're not tearing up anybody's house. We're not tearing up anybody's business. We're going to create enough space to do what we need to do and also put a baseball stadium downtown. Now, at least what I picked up from Todd Palmer was I don't think it's going to have that picturesque, the Western Auto Union loft sign. I don't think that's going to be in right field like we thought it was going to be. Again, I don't know. I kind of got to see this. I'm visual. I need to see what the plan's going to look like, and I imagine we'll get that tomorrow or very, very soon on what the plan is. But it's hard for me now to wrap my mind around for the last 2 weeks, I've known exactly where the stadium is going to be. And then at the 23rd hour, and maybe this is why people said we wanted to vote on this thing. At the 23rd hour, it's no, no, no. That's actually.
He's saying, hey, we've always said the Washington Square Park Crown Center area. Okay, where exactly is it going? But it doesn't sound like tomorrow's announcement is, hey, the ballpark village is going to be Washington Square Park and the stadium is going to be in Midtown. Like that, I feel like it's just a different block, a different area, not even a different area, a few blocks away from what we previously imagined. I do think there's probably some more community impact than we thought with the Washington Square Park place. But
I actually don't think that's going to be the case.
I'm just trying to think of, in my, to your point, I'm trying to picture where down there you could put a ballpark other than Washington Square Park that doesn't displace some businesses in some way down there. Where else down there can it be? Because it's still that area as an amorphous blob type of deal.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to be very curious to hear those answers tomorrow on what it is going to be. But it's going to be around where we are talking about. It's around 15 acres is what they're talking about. So I think we can get the footprint kind of close of where we think the stadium is going to be. And you guys got an answer, 913-586-7965. I don't want to sound ignorant or unknowing on the topic. I'm just struggling to, hey, where are they now going to create this footprint that doesn't tear down anybody's business, it doesn't displace anybody's home if it's not going to be at the park? I think we all thought that park was a little bit narrow and a little bit thin to try to build a stadium. Now they are going to use a little bit different footprint that gives them more than enough. 15 acres is more than enough space to do what the Royals need to do. It is more than enough space. Someone said maybe they're putting it by Liberty. They are not putting it over there.
I don't think the Liberty Memorial wants it over there.
No, they're not putting it over there.
It's in your brain where you're picturing anything Crown Center. It's in that general vicinity. I don't know the exact location, but they're not changing. They're not throwing baby out with the bathwater. They still have the general area.
I also think it's important to note in this, and this is where I don't even think it's shooting the Royals any bail. I think it's just the truth. The city has been saying one thing. The Royals have not been saying anything. The city has been saying Washington Square Park. They have been saying Washington Square Park and Crown Center area. Remember, we had the tweet last week. We had the report last week where they made a phone call out to Halls. They made a phone call out to them to get their blessing to do some things. I'm imagining there's some land that's changing hand. I'm imagining there's some money that's changing hands. I'm imagining it's all of those things that are happening. But until tomorrow, everything has just been speculation. Everything has just been a little bit of posturing. The Royals are going to tell us the plan tomorrow. Yes, we want this space. We are building here. This is where the stadium is going to be. This is where our ballpark village is going to be. This is what the sight lines are going to be. I'm not sure if we get the rendering tomorrow, but they are absolutely going to tell us what their geographical footprint is going to be tomorrow. We can take your phone calls on this. 913-586-7965, 913-586-7965. I do think they're going to use that Washington Square Park area for something. I do think that. I absolutely think that. We can read your text. We can take your phone calls. This is very interesting to me. We'll talk about it. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $400 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $400 in bonus bets. That's just for getting started. When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back those stats up, you can head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, matchups, all in one location, all on the same app, so you can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need on America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't miss your shot. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official partner of the NBA and also the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued to non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days on the street, which apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
In a field of thousands, one has emerged. Back from the brink, now poised to take its rightful place amongst the greatest lawns of all time. It's the birth of a true turf champion and a story that will live on at summer barbecues and in neighborhood group chats for all time. Your lawn is back, baby, and it's Weedman for the win. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get 1 free service.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. How about being Google's highest review rated and your first maintenance is free? Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
What's got everyone talking?
That would be Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill on 135th and Null and 119th and Quivira.
What's got everyone talking?
Everyone's talking about our daily specials, the best burgers and wings in town, great selection of beer and spirits. Oh, it's the dozens of TVs showing your favorite game.
That's what's got everyone talking.
This is Giannis, and now we're talking at Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This was brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Mike's got this. And we've got a stall down at 435 eastbound in Knoll. Right lane is blocked. Let's see, towards DeSoto, K10 westbound at Kill Creek. That stall, that's a big rig blocking the right lane. I see delays. I'm down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Jack Caglione from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan. All right, text line 913-586-7965. I think this is a small minority group of people, so I don't want to blow this up into something that it's not, but I want to read this text and respond. CDOT, the Royals moving downtown is going to be an absolute disaster. The Royals are not that big of a draw. I understand you work in sports radio and you get fed by them, but we are talking about a small market, perpetually losing team. This isn't going to make that much of a difference. This is the baseball version of that Ferris wheel that no one goes to. I do think there is a portion of people that, for whatever reason, want this idea to fail. Maybe it's just the text line, and I've just been beaten over the head with these kind of texts over the last 2-3 years or so. It's just so frustrating because I feel like if we let these group of people win, we would never have anything. We would still be going to concerts at Kemper Arena. We wouldn't have the streetcar. We wouldn't have so many of the cool things that we have.
The airport.
Like, I remember very vividly when we were discussing the airport and smart people. Why do we need more restaurants at the airport? Why do we need more seats? Why do we need more places to charge your phone? I just want to fly in and out. What? What are we arguing about? They were just going to, Rob, they were just talking about they're going to build a new airport right next to the old one for like a small tax. Hey, we kind of need a new airport. I mean, we all love the old KCI. It was great. Oh, man, it was phenomenal. This new airport is phenomenal. I don't want to let those people win. And maybe it is, I work in sports talk radio. I feel like I'd be fine either way. Rob, I feel like me and you would be fine. We would figure it out. We'd figure out a way to make this work. I feel like there's a group of people that are going into this idea with the expectation that it is going to fail instead of, let's just see what they do. And if they do something cool. We've never been in this time in Kansas City history. Now, some people have. The stadium wasn't always there. The Chiefs Stadium was somewhere different. The baseball stadium was somewhere different. But if you were my age or a little bit older than me, 37 years old, the stadiums have always been in one location. They've shared the same parking lot, the same way that you got to the stadium in 1997. You still get to the stadium that way in 2027. We do the exact same things in this city. So this is going to be new. It is going to be different. We are going to have to adjust. But as I said in the open of the show, that adjustment doesn't make it a bad thing. We don't drive on Main Street the exact same way that we did before. We still seem to manage just fine. Kemper Arena was great. We still seem to enjoy the Big 12 tournament, even though it's not in the exact same location that it was before. So I'm just going into this with the open idea of, hey, let's just see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but I've been to other baseball stadiums. It's not like I've only been to one baseball stadium in my life. I've been to other ones. I've been to Wrigley. I've been to other baseball stadiums. I've been to stadiums that are downtown. I've been to stadiums that aren't downtown. So if you're telling me that their idea is to build Citizens Bank Ballpark in downtown Kansas City, great. That sounds phenomenal to me. That's an amazing stadium. If their plan is to build PNC Park, but put it in downtown Kansas City, where it's around the corner from Union Station, where it's down the street from Power and Light, that sounds phenomenal to me. That does not sound like a bad idea in my brain.
I don't want to give too much oxygen to the person who texted that in.
The only reason why I read it is I think that is a lot of people. I guess another thing is we all feel the same way about Kauffman. There is not a single person in Kansas City that hates the experience of going to Kauffman Stadium. But I think as you get older and you travel more and you go to other, you just acknowledge that it could be better. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that some of you pretend like you tailgate for all 81 baseball games. I've seen the attendance numbers. You ain't out there like that, and that's fine. I'm not saying it. They're the worst team in baseball. If you were going out there to grill hot dogs later today, the problem is with you, honestly. Why are you going out there to do that?
How? On a Tuesday at 6:30, by the way.
If you go to other ballparks, there is an energy and a vibe around the stadium. There is no energy and vibe around Kauffman Stadium. It is impossible to have that. There's a football stadium that they are not using during the game. There's all this space. There's not enough people there. There is no energy and no vibe. They are talking about giving going to a Royals game a vibe. They're talking about that you can stop and get something to eat and then walk across. That sounds cool to me that we are thinking about doing that. This is something that we honestly should have done 20-something years ago. They probably should have never renovated the stadium. They probably should have renovated it. Now, I would also disagree with this. Someone on the text line, C-Dot, it sounds phenomenal to you because you don't care about going to the game. You care about going to other stuff with nothing to do with baseball. But that's going to a baseball game. The amount of people that are going to a baseball game solely to go there, don't buy anything, don't buy any food, don't buy anything to drink, sit there for 9 innings, don't walk around, and then leave when the game is over is a very small amount of people.
And not stop on the way in or out to do anything.
Because I've been to these baseball games. A lot of you are hanging out at rivals in right field. The baseball game is on, but we're having a good time. It's warm outside. There is a carousel in the stadium. There's mini golf at the stadium. A lot of people are going out there for the atmosphere of being out at the stadium. So are we catering this to the very, very small percent of Kansas Cityans that don't care about any of the amenities and none of the fixings? Or are we building a stadium that does accommodate the people that want all the fixings that come with a baseball stadium? That's what makes baseball cool. You don't know anybody whose idea it is to go to all of the different basketball stadiums because for the most part, they're the same. But you do hear people have this conversation about going to all the baseball stadiums because they're unique, because they're different, because they provide different experiences. Going to Wrigley and going to Royals games are two drastically different experiences. Going to an Oakland A's game and going to a Yankees game are two drastically different experiences. We have had the same Royals experience for 40-something years. They're now going to...
And my point about giving this person this text oxygen, I think it's a vocal minority. It's just people who are fearful of change. They are set in their ways and they like what they like and they don't want the change. But I'm betting that they are eventually will go to the new ballpark, wherever in Crown Center it's going to be. I don't know. You don't know. Apparently no one knows, but it's in the Crown Center area. They will go to the stadium and they will like it. They will enjoy the experience. They will have a good time. Also, just because the new stadium is going to have a potential ballpark village and things to do outside the baseball doesn't prohibit you from watching the baseball. The new stadium will also feature the Royals on the field. So it's just people being fearful of change and screaming into the void about how they don't want things to change.
Yeah, and I guess I mean this all respectfully. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, there's more of us than you. Get it straight. Have you guys seen the Royals attendance number? No, it's not. This diehard group of baseball fans that don't want the fixings and amenities, there are not nearly as many of you as you think that there is. They wouldn't have all of the extra stuff out there that they do. They would not have a party porch if that was the case. They would not have craft and draft. They have a carousel in right field. They are catering to everybody. Nobody, if you just want to go to the baseball game and go home, you will still have that ability at the new stadium. You don't have to go to any of the shops. You don't have to go to any of the restaurants. You can get dropped off right in front of the stadium. You can watch the game and go home. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. Not all of us want that experience in going to a baseball game. Not all of us are sitting there keeping score at the game and sitting in our seat for all 9 innings. I like walking around. I like going to the outfield. I like going to the Royals Hall of Fame and seeing things during the game. That's part of the experience to me of going to a Royals game. They are talking about taking those experiences and multiplying them times 50 is what they are talking about.
I also tell you, I don't want to get caught up in the weeds here, there are definitely more people who like the amenities and the fixings of baseball than not. You want to know how I know? Most baseball parks in America are set around a downtown metroplex, or at least the ones you care about going to. No one waxes poetically about, the Rangers' new stadium. You know what people like? The Cubs Stadium. Do you know where it is? Downtown. You know what people like? The Yankee Stadium. It's downtown. Like, think of one of the cool baseball, PNC Park in Pittsburgh. People rave about that park. You know where it is? Downtown. Like, the fixings and the trappings of baseball, that's what it is. It's not just stadium and go home.
Yeah, and I guess I have this conversation with Gabe. I don't think I'm telling like any private conversation. Gabe and I talk about this when it comes to the MUKU rivalry. And Gabe's a little bit older than me, but I say this all the time with rivalries. Like, I've had my time with the MUKU rivalry, as I imagine many of you had. I remember going to school the next day after Christian Moody missed those free throws. I remember going to school after the Thomas Gardner game. I was at the 2007 football game between MU and KU. I remember very vividly watching the 08 game where Kerry Myers scores the touchdown. I've had my moments with the MU-KU rivalry. Now I'll continue to have more rivalry moments, but I've had my moments. It's now time for the next generation to have their moments. So there's going to be a group of KU fans that you ask them, who's your least favorite Missouri player? They're going to say Bryson Tiller. That's not going to be my answer. Rob, it's not going to be your answer, but that will be somebody else's answer. So I guess to me with Kauffman Stadium, we've had Kauffman Stadium our entire life. It's amazing. We all love Kauffman. All of us have very fond memories of our parents taking us to the game or going on a date at Kauffman Stadium or going out there with a group of friends to Kauffman Stadium. Everybody in Kansas City shares in those experiences. We are about to together have a new experience. And the same way that your dad took you to the game or your grandpa took you to the game, we're now going to have the opportunity to share that with another generation of Royals fans, and they will have their home. Kauffman has had just about all the memories that Kauffman Stadium needs to have. It has seen, 4 World Series at that stadium? 80, 85, 2014, 2015. Some of the greatest baseball players in the world have played there. Some of the great players in the world love that stadium. Ichiro loves the stadium. CC Sabathia loves the stadium. It's over. It's over. I'm sorry, it's done. They are building something completely new, something different, something fun, something exciting. So I personally don't feel bad for being excited about it. I'm thrilled about the idea of a new baseball stadium downtown. As I said from the very beginning, it's the only place I thought the stadium would make sense. I don't think it really changes much if they had built it on 119th and all. I don't think it really changes much if they had built it up north. The best place for it to be is where they are putting it.
Or the area we think they're putting it, as that continues.
They're putting it around there for sure.
As that continues to evolve. But yeah, if you were a person who's upset today, I can't tell you how not to feel, but it feels like you're upset because of fear and change. And I'm sorry to cut you off, there's also this very weird, for example, this text right here. CDOT, we don't need the Royals or want them. We understand you need them for your job. Good riddance, Royals. Your argument sucks, guys. I mean this again I say this as somebody who I have had so many chances to move, and I want to live in Kansas City. I love being here. I say this all the time. The reason we feel about American cities the way that we feel is usually by the number of sports teams that they have. Can you imagine how we would feel about Portland, Oregon if they didn't have a professional sports team? Or the way we feel about them now because they only have one professional sports team.
How we would feel about Salt Lake City if they didn't get professional sports teams or host the Winter Olympics. We are denying the role that sports plays in all of our society, not just for my job. We are not counting that in a large way of how we identify people and where they are from is by the city and by the teams that they have. You've been out of town before, and when you told somebody where you were from, they said, oh, so you're a Chiefs fan, or oh, you must like the Chiefs, or back in 2014 and 15 when you had that conversation, oh, you're from Kansas City, how about those Royals? So there is this weird, we don't need the Royals, or let them move to Nashville. It's honestly one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard. It's so stupid to me. I'm sorry, it's so stupid to me. Having the sports teams is what separates us from Oklahoma City, who has one. It's what separates us from Omaha, who has none. It's what makes us a better city, in my opinion, than all of them, is that we have those teams. So having the Royals did not just help me. It helps all of us in the community because we all live here.
You said it more eloquently than me. I am truly baffled by people who are wanting the Royals to leave. It makes literally no sense to me. None. None at all. The Royals, They might not be good. They're bad this year. They've been bad my life, but they've
been bad for most of our life, for sure.
They are a part of what we are as a city. And when the handful of times they've been good in my life, people go out there and there's a measure of pride that they are our team and they're good. So the idea that they can leave and go to Salt Lake or Nashville is just absolutely lunacy to me.
Yeah, and I just also think too, I think that, and we say this, about other things, but I think it's true. Like, sports is one of the very few things in life that just brings everybody together. When you think about it, what activities in our city would you say everybody participates in and everybody is involved in some way? It doesn't matter if you're like me and you live downtown. It doesn't matter if you're Rob and you live on 135th and Metcalf. It doesn't matter if you live in Olathe. It doesn't matter if you live up north. We all go to one place to meet. Rob, where you and I get groceries are two completely different places. Where you and I go to the movie theater are two completely different things. We come together for three things: church, concerts, and sporting events. That's what we come together for. We have the Current. We have Sporting Kansas City. I just don't know how anybody can diminish their role in our city or on society as a whole.
It makes truly no sense to me. And maybe we are just, again, letting someone who is in the vocal minority get their moment in the sun. And if we are, that's our bad. But the idea
I think there's a lot of people that feel that way about the Royals.
And they're all wrong. Every single one of them is wrong. You don't have to like that John Sherman is getting the stadium he wants. You don't like that Clark Hunt's getting the stadium he wants. You don't have to like that billionaires get taxpayer money. I think those are fine things to feel, but just saying the team should leave is nonsensical to me.
Yeah, in some ways, and maybe this is like me therapy. Like I didn't even plan this. This is just me talking. I would say for the most part, it's never really been cool to hate on the Chiefs. In some weird way, it's like really cool to hate on the Royals. I don't understand it. I don't get it. In some weird way. I'm frustrated about what the Royals have done this year too. This year was not supposed to go the way that it's gone. It really wasn't supposed to go this way. The Royals were supposed to be good. They were supposed to give us something to believe in. They were supposed to get us to go to the spring. That's what they were going to do. So the fact that the Royals are out of it, I'm not going to let that get me down about the downtown baseball stadium. If there's one thing that I've lived through in my life, it's been bad baseball. That's what I know. I've spent way more time in my life with bad baseball than good baseball. They've really only been good for like 18 months in my life. Oh, they were a fun 18 months. I certainly lived it up. But think about it. How excited we got in 2003. The Royals in 2003 were the most mediocre, average team that any of us have ever seen. I love the 2003 Royals. And I imagine that you guys love the 2003 Royals too. We all want the same thing with the Royals. I want the Royals to be good. I want them to be viable. I want them to turn the corner. I wish the Royals were the Cardinals. So maybe that's taboo to say. I wish they were the Cardinals. The Cardinals are consistently good. They got a national brand. They've had great all-time iconic players play for them. I wish they could be. Our city would be better if they were the Cardinals. They are not the Cardinals. So you know what? They're going to give us the Cardinals game day experience in downtown Kansas City. I can live with that. We'll get back to the NFL draft. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $400 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $400 in bonus bets just for getting started. When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, matchups all in one place and make your picks with the utmost confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA and official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Over time, your home's exterior takes a beating. You might notice faded colors or peeling paint. You need to call my friends at CertaPro Painters, whether you're thinking about the inside or outside of your home. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand, and you'll get a quote right away. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Want a quieter, more enjoyable shooting experience? Centerfire Shooting Sports in Olathe is the #1 suppressor dealer in Kansas City. We make it easy for you to get your suppressor without the hassle. Need help? Our team of experts is here to walk you through the entire process. Come in today and learn more, or go online to centerfireshootingsports.com. Centerfire Shooting Sports, Kansas City's one-stop shop for all your suppressor needs.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army's Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, we've got a crash headed up to, 35 northbound past mile marker 25 of 4. It is the right lane that's blocked. That's a 2-car crash. We've got the stall 71 northbound just past Meyer Boulevard. Wrecker on the scene. That'll be out of your way. But right now the left lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
I want to read this really quickly to you guys, and then we can move on. CDOT, if you read Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, then the overwhelming sentiment is very negative. The reality is that a majority of the population on both sides don't think these moves that the teams are going to make are better for the teams. It just mystifies me that you don't understand how people feel if they don't agree with you. I just would like to start with, if you are looking to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram for any sentiment of positivity, you are operating from a very, very wrong place, because I don't think that positivity lives on any of those places. I don't think that's the content that people want on those places. I look at the Facebook comments. I look at tweets. That is not indicative to me of how people really think or feel about really anything, I would say. So I am not using Facebook says as a basis of why something is a good or a bad idea. I think you should follow that for basically any conversation. So whether it's about the stadium, whether it is about anything, I would usually not base the feeling of it or trying to get a sentiment of this is what the people on Facebook and Twitter are saying. That's normally a bad place to begin any conversation in my mind.
Yeah. That's like saying, I'm not going to a restaurant because there are people on Yelp who say it stinks. Not always the best barometer.
Yeah, that's just if that's how other people, that's how you want to live. That's perfectly fine. I'm just telling you that there's usually not there's not really a place that has a positive comment section. You know what I mean? Like that's just not really where people are just, man, you know what? I'm just really, really positive. Like I would guess, I'll give you one example. Tomorrow, if Fox 4 posted that Spectrum worked for 100% of its customers today, you'd have like 15 comments. Tomorrow, if that same one was like, Spectrum worked for 95% of it, oh my goodness, that comment. See, I told you this is why I hate Spectrum. It's a failed exercise, honestly, if you're asking my opinion. Now, this could be something very, very positive. This is Dan Patrick. He is reporting, what he is hearing is that Nashville is going to get the Super Bowl in 2030.
The 2030 Super Bowl, I was informed by a source on Saturday that it is signed and ready to go, in his opinion, that Nashville is getting the 2030 Super Bowl. I haven't seen any reports on this, and if there is a report on it, I'll acknowledge that, but this is what I was told on Saturday. Nashville is getting the 2030 Super Bowl. Vegas is getting the 2029 Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl should just probably stay in 4 locations, but that's neither here nor there. They are going to move the Super Bowl around. The only reason I even play that, the only reason I bring it up is because that is 3 years after the stadium opens. So if you want to start doing some math, if you want to start saving up for the stadium, let me tell you that we will probably get the Super Bowl 2034, I would say, Rob. 2035 feels to me about right. The stadium opens up in 31. 3 to 4 years later, Kansas City would end up getting the Super Bowl. So we're less than a decade away.
That timeline probably adds up.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a little bit sooner if they're done in 2031. Maybe they get like the 2033 Super Bowl, 2034. But that feels about right. We're 7, 8, 9 years away from having a Super Bowl at the new stadium. It will be the one, but they'll get their one the way Minnesota got one, the way Dallas got one. That will be the one Super Bowl. That timeline adds up to me.
Yeah, and someone on the text line says, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Kansas City will be a boring Super Bowl host. I mean, the reason Kansas City will be a boring Super Bowl host is it's not really a great place to party in early February. All the places that we deem to be exciting Super Bowl cities are fun places to party at, period. And usually when it's cold everywhere else, it's not cold there. Mm-hmm. So Kansas City just doesn't have a culture where people are just going out and partying, and no one is coming in from out of town to party in Kansas City. People do that in Las Vegas. That's what makes it a great place to host a Super Bowl. People do that in Miami. That's what makes it a great place to host a Super Bowl. New Orleans, Los Angeles, The reason why I don't think the Super Bowl should be in places like Kansas City, I'm not talking about the football stadium. Yeah, the football stadium will be good. But as somebody who has been to a Super Bowl 3 times but has actually never been to the game, it is much more about all of the other stuff than it's about the 3-hour affair of the game. And a lot of people that are there are also not going to the game. We're just here because anybody who's anybody is here. Think of a musician that you like. They're probably performing down at the Super Bowl. Even if it's not even highly publicized, you just randomly be like, oh, Post Malone is doing some club here. Let's go over here and let's see it. Oh, Amazon is throwing this party. Let's go over here and do it. That's just not the culture in Kansas City. I mean, that's what's make it going to be not a great Super Bowl host. The game will go off great. It'll be really cool for us. But all the people that are in from out of town, would you want to party in Kansas City for a weekend in February? Just doesn't really sound that fun to me.
I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I will say the NFL puts on a party for a week, so people in town will still have a good time. To your point, I'm betting whether at T-Mobile Center or pick a venue in town, you're right. Some major art or some old artist with a lot of name cachet is going to be playing. There's going to be some event at the convention center. Like, remember when the All-Star game was in town? There was stuff happening everywhere in town. Now, it's the summer, but it's different. It's going to be a fun week. It's just not going to be as fun as New Orleans would be for a week. But people in town won't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's been here, and I'm not saying it's like my place of privilege. Like, if you got a chance to go, I don't think the average person realizes how much stuff is going on outside of the actual game. I don't think people know that part of it. And that's what I'm saying is in a place like Vegas that just has the infrastructure for all of those things, like part of why it works so much is Vegas already has so many clubs, already has so many bars. So now telling people, hey, come to this bar because Shaq is going to be here is pretty normal in Las Vegas, where it is not very normal in other places. So for a Super Bowl city, whether it's just going to be super cold, like, is that just a place you want to travel to? But I mean, we're going to get it the one time and it'll be great. I'm guessing it was great when it was in Detroit. Not really a place I would want to go hang out in early February. I'm sure it was great in Minneapolis. Also not a place I would want to hang out in early February. If I was not from Kansas City, that would not be a time I would tell anybody to travel to Kansas City. You want to come to Kansas City? Come in June. It's great.
I will say this.
Kansas City's great in May. Oh, man, it's amazing in May. September, October? Oh, great time to come to the city. You would never tell any of your relatives to come in early February. It's normally not that fun.
You know what's surprising to me, though? Indianapolis, not a fun place to party in February. And yet, the Combine everyone talks about is a great time.
They just go to one place, though. That's what people talk about. They just go to one place.
They don't party in the city. They party at what is it, Elmo's or what is, I don't even know the name of the place. It's St. Elmo's?
St. Elmo's, yeah. There's like other places, too, but yeah.
That's the big party.
Can I tell you this? I mean, if I get in trouble, it doesn't matter. So I texted someone. Because I wanted to know. I was just like, oh, I want to get the information. Yeah, I'm going to read you exactly what the conversation was. I texted somebody, so the stadium isn't going to be where everybody thinks it's going to be, ? This is what I got back in return. I am proud of the steps we have taken to build a strong future for Royals baseball in downtown Kansas City. I'm excited to share and learn more tomorrow about the development of job creation and community benefits for our entire region. Mayor Lucas.
I was going to say, that's his exact statement he put out to the public, so.
I just got a statement. You couldn't even tell me.
Did he send you the graphic? Because there's a graphic on social media.
That's what it said. Then, Rob, I'm not even joking. It was in italics. It was clearly cut and copied from somewhere else. Like, bro, why'd you do me like this? I am proud of the steps we have taken. Bro, don't talk to me like that. We know each other. Why are you talking to me like that? It was in italics. Rob, it had quotations around. All right, never mind. I'll find out tomorrow. I guess you don't want to tell me. I'd rather you just not reply to my text. Why'd you reply that way? You didn't have to tell me that. All right, we'll get to the draft coming up. It's the drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Okay, we've got a crash headed up to, 35 northbound past mile marker 25-4. It is the right lane that's blocked. That's a two-car crash. We've got the stall 71 northbound just past Meyer Boulevard. Wrecker on the scene. That'll be out of your way. But right now, the left lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Royals coverage on The Fan, sponsored by Salvation Army Kick Hunger Civic Lunch on May 7th. Get ready to kick off a summer of soccer in Kansas City while fighting hunger. Join the Salvation Army for the Kick Hunger Civic Lunch 2026 May 7th. Score big for local families in need. Grab your tickets or table today at kickhungerkc.com. That's kickhungerkc.com.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
It happens every day. An unsuspecting homeowner looks up and sees spots on the ceiling after it rains. They didn't know their roof had hail and wind damage from a storm maybe a year or two ago when they weren't home. Now they've got roof damage and a whole lot more. Don't let that happen to you, especially since JR and Company has a free and hassle-free way to find out what's up there. Just visit jrstormcheck.com. Plug in your address and we'll pull a multi-year storm report. If there's nothing there, you have free peace of mind. And if there is, we'll work with your insurance company to get it taken care of before your claim window closes and before you see spots. Your free online storm check from JR and Company only takes a minute at jrstormcheck.com.
Always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrstormcheck.com.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
The Fans Draft Party is Thursday, April 23rd. Live from the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill starting at 6 o'clock. 96.5 The Fan. KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station.
Rob, did you see that Heinz wants to create a new tradition? So they want to treat, if you are the 57th overall pick, they want to give you a custom red jacket, which would also come with a lifetime supply of ketchup. I wouldn't want to be the 57th overall pick. I'll be the 58th pick. I'll be the 59th pick. Maybe I'm lucky enough to be picked 56. You know? A little bit more money, not a whole lot more money, a little bit more money. But if you were telling me that the reward you get for being the 57th overall pick is a Chiefs red coaters jacket with the Heinz logo on it and a lifetime supply of ketchup, I'm okay. That's not what I want.
Have you ever been watching the draft and thought to yourself, you know what this needs? More corporate sponsors.
I mean, I get why they would do this.
Especially in Pittsburgh. It used to be, it's not Heinz Field anymore, is it? What's it now? Something else.
Yeah. It's still Heinz Field, though. I get what you're saying.
Like, I would understand if they're like, for Pittsburgh, because of Heinz Field, we're doing it this way. But every year, like, if the draft one year is in Miami, we don't need to be giving away a Heinz jacket. Stop
I'm
it.
just,
No.
I mean, this might actually open things up for the National Football League. You think they're about to stop? They're about to have the 31st overall pick sponsored by Baskin & Robbins. A1 is going to sponsor the number 1 overall pick. You think this stops? You've seen the NFL. They'll sell anything. They're about to sell every single draft pick is going to be sponsored by somebody. This is the Just Do It 140th overall pick where they give you your own custom Nike IDs. No, this is now opening up. They sold the rights to the 57th overall pick to Heinz Ketchup. The Bears actually have the pick this year. Devin Hester is going to be the one that makes the announcement. Salute to Devin Hester, Hall of Famer.
Does he get to walk out with the jacket?
I would hope that they would give him also a jacket as well.
It's crazy to believe the 57th pick may be there to put a jacket on for the Heinz, but Francisco Mendoza, no, not going to be the draft.
Someone just sent this as CDOT. I don't know if you've seen the reports from the Kansas City Business Journal, but it sounds like Washington Square Park was the Royals' number 1 option, but they have had some issues with the company that owns the railroad track next to it, and that's why they have had to pivot. Actually makes a lot of sense. I've not read that story, but that would also check out. That would make a lot of sense for why that would be the case. People are now throwing up another ideas for sponsors. There could be the WD-40. There could also be the 23rd pick sponsored by for Dr. Pepper. That's actually a really, really good one. Can you imagine if they gave you a Dr. Pepper colored suit? And that's the one you wore out there? I actually think that's a really good idea. Look at y'all thinking of more ways to make the NFL money. Or the 23rd overall pick could be sponsored by Jordan Brand.
I mean, fans are having ideas now, but just wait until the whole thing's on Amazon Prime and you have to pay to watch these picks.
Somebody said the 7th and 11th pick could also have the same sponsor. See, that's what I'm talking about. You would get a lifetime supply of Slurpees. If you're the 17th overall pick and the 11th overall pick, you get a lifetime supply of Slurpees, and maybe they give you like a gas card. It makes a lot of sense. I like the creativity you guys have now. How else can we make more money for the National Football League? Maybe if they sponsored all these picks, they wouldn't have to play so many international games. Maybe if they played all of these, maybe they had all these sponsors, they wouldn't have to give us an 18th game that nobody wants.
Or the sponsors start asking for more things. So now the international games are brought to you by Fly Emirates.
Maybe. I'm just telling you, it's certainly a possibility. All right, let's talk about the NFL draft. What could the Chiefs do with the 9th overall pick? Peter Schrager, respectfully, he has been around the world on ideas of who the Chiefs could draft. I'm telling you, I'm ready to get here. I'm tired of the speculation. Let's just figure out who the pick is going to be. Peter Schrager, he is back. He thinks the Chiefs are either going to go with edge or wide receiver, when a month ago he thought they were going to go left tackle. Here's Peter Schrager.
I don't think they go Sadiq, the tight end. I don't think they go offensive line at 9. I think the Chiefs are one of the wide receivers or one of the pass rushers if they fall. And then Caleb Downs and Mansour Delane, if they're on the board, possibilities as well.
All right.
That's the first time I've heard Caleb Downs. I'll say that.
In a while, for sure.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's first time in a while. I will give the Chiefs this. I would say for the most part, I think the Chiefs stick to the meat and potatoes in the first round. They don't usually go off the board. Now, I'm not telling you exactly who the Chiefs are going to pick. I don't know who they're going to pick. I don't think the Chiefs know who they're going to pick because they have the 9th pick. We got to see how the board fills out. But I would say for the most part, they go for the meat and potatoes. And I would say a lot of times their draft pick usually makes sense. You might not like the pick, but it usually makes sense. We all knew they were going to draft a wide receiver. They got Xavier Worthy. We all knew they were going to go offensive line. They got Josh Simmons. They don't really surprise us that much. We can all identify what the 3 biggest needs for the Chiefs are. Their 3 biggest needs are pass rush, wide receiver, and corner. It is not right tackle. I know I've been playing devil's advocate, but that is not one of their 3 biggest needs. So I would say this. I think they really only have 2 needs. I think wide receiver is a little bit of a want. I want them to get another wide receiver. I don't know if it's a need, certainly not in the same vein that wide receiver or that corner is and defensive line. For example, let's say that they didn't pick up their first wide receiver until that 74th overall pick. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Now, I would like for them to pick one earlier, but if they took their first wide receiver at 74, I think they're all right. If they took their first cornerback at pick 74, I think they have made a terrible mistake. If they wait until pick 74 to take their first defensive lineman, I would also concede that they have made a very terrible mistake. Maybe that logic is flawed in how I view it, but I would certainly like for them to get more wide receivers. But if Rashee Rice is going to have a contract year, if you think that Chad O'Shea can help Xavier Worthy know where the sideline is, if Travis Kelce can stay healthy this year and add another 800 yards, you got Kenneth Walker. There's enough there on offense that they don't need to spend the 9th overall pick on a wide receiver. They don't need to spend 29 at a wide receiver. If they come out of the first 2 days of the NFL draft and they don't have a defensive lineman, they have made terrible judgments in my mind. If they don't pick up 1 or 2 premium positions at corner, I'm not saying that they can't find a diamond in the rough. Their plan cannot be, we're going to wait until the 5th round to find who our number 2 corner can potentially be. No. You need to spend 9, 29, or 40. One of those needs to be a corner that you like. One of them needs to be a defensive lineman that you like. And then I'm open to the possibility of just about anything else. Let's say that Kenyon Sadiq falls and they take him at 29. That's not the worst thing that they could possibly do. But they cannot leave Thursday or Friday without picking up somebody with some juice who can get to the quarterback on the defensive side. And they cannot get through those 2 days without somebody you think can cover on the outside. Those are glaring needs for me right now.
That's why I've been such an advocate of pass rusher, because the stats say that getting that elite pass rusher, like to your point, usually comes in the top 15, like not at pick 29. But they have some glaring needs still. And whether it's by the time we talk on Friday on the show or whether we're talking on Monday, they need to have addressed multiple of those needs. Like if they take Caleb Downs at 9, just for the sake of the argument, 29 has to be an edge or a corner. It can't be a wide receiver. So if I've heard Bing say that he would be pro trading back. I would be pro trading back if that means you get more chances to take players at those premium positions. But you cannot have it be Saturday afternoon and fans are keeping an eye on the draft and you have, hey, we took an Ashton Gelati type at pick 70-something for our one edge rusher. I would even call that too little for the position.
Yeah, and some of these things, like, I understand you need to think ahead. And this is where I think the Chiefs have honestly just beat us down so much with how difficult their offense is. You know that it's possible for wide receivers to be able to contribute immediately. You want to know how I know? I see it happen every single year in the National Football League. It didn't take Emeka Egbuka a year and a half to be a good receiver in the league. He just was a good receiver in the league. So I don't think that we have to think of the philosophy of, well, they got to draft somebody in 2026 so they can be ready to help us in 2027. No, they can draft what they need now in 2026. And then next year, when they potentially really need a wide receiver, they can draft that wide receiver with the 21st overall pick, and he can from day one contribute and be able to help them. It's possible. I know I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen in Andy Reid's offense before. Now, it worked in Philadelphia. It's the same offense. It worked with Macklin. It worked for Deshaun Jackson. I don't know why the Chiefs can't draft a wide receiver and he can just help them in week 2 of the NFL season. You don't have to wait until week 15 to actually get contribution from your rookie wide receiver. I'm telling you, I promise it can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to pick guys in round 1 who make an immediate impact. I would say they're also allowed to get that in round 2, 3, and 4. And historically, the Chiefs, it doesn't matter what round they get a wide receiver in, they don't seem to contribute, and it seems to be status quo. So maybe there's a bigger issue at play here than just where they get drafted. Is why do none of them ever contribute off the jump other than Rashee Rice that one time?
Yeah, this isn't a worry for me, but I get the point that people are making. C-Dot, I'm nervous about Brett Veach and first-round pick. His record seems to be better with late-round picks than first-round picks. I also think that's a little bit unfair because you just have more late-round picks than you have first-round picks. You get one chance in the first round where you can have 6 or 7 late-round picks. You just get more dart throws. I think that also plays a factor to it. I don't think their track record with first-round picks is maybe as bad as everybody else thinks that it's been. George Karlaftis is a good player. Trent McDuffie was a good player. There's still a chance that Xavier Worthy turns out to be a productive player in the National Football League. Now, sure, they haven't had that just impact day one or, future star drafted in the first round, but they've done a really good job in the first round, I think, drafting impact players that help them. I don't think that Brett Veach is terrible in the first round. That's not my worry or concern heading into Thursday.
I also think he's been really good in round 2 and 3, which I know the conversation was about round 1, but if you do really well in round 2 and round 3, you found starters and, people you can build your franchise around. I know I hate middle linebacker. Nick Bolton in the second round is a great draft pick by Brett Veach. Just because not round 1 does not mean that he's not good at identifying a top-end talent. Creed Humphrey, same way. Like I know that sometimes those guys don't go with R1 next to their name, but when you pick in the second round, you get stars. You're also doing a good job.
Yeah, I also think this too, like someone just sent this, you do that with every team and every player. I think you can do that with everybody. Like, I don't think that is a uniquely Brett Veach kind of thing. Now, the argument might be you are not good if you don't see it this way, but, there was a time where there were a lot of people that thought that Mitch Trubisky was a better quarterback prospect than Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, and that blows my mind that they thought that. It never really made any sense to me why people thought that. So we're just going off that mentality that there's never been a good general manager, because we can find plenty of examples of where you selected this guy and like, wait, if you had just waited another 2 picks or saw the vision, this is who you could have gotten. So I'm critical of Brett Veach for a lot of things. That's just not something I think is very fair. I think to be able to criticize him on his ability to get things right or wrong. I'm going into this with let's see. I'm very, very intrigued to see what the Chiefs do. They've never been in this position before. I'm not sure if there's any rules for the Chiefs. I think a lot of times we go into these things, oh, well, Brett Veach never does this in the first round, or they don't normally get this in the first round. They've never had a top 10 pick before. They've also never had the amount of needs that they have. They haven't had this many needs on their roster since after the AFC Championship game, the first one they went to where they lost to the Patriots. After that one, they needed to completely start over with their defense. The Chiefs I wouldn't say got a start over spot, but they need impact players at some of the hardest positions to find on the field. They need impact players at corner. They need an impact right tackle. They need impact pass rushers. It's just really, really hard to find those individuals. So I'm going into it with the board is fairly open. Let's just see how the Chiefs play it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
What's got everyone talking?
That would be Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill on 135th and Null and 119th and Quivira.
What's got everyone talking?
Everyone's talking about our daily specials, the best burgers and wings in town, great selection of beer and spirits. Oh, it's the dozens of TVs showing your favorite game.
That's what's got everyone talking.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park & Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer-approved.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Mike's got this, and we've got a crash now. It is 35 northbound at 95th, blocking part of the right lane. A lot of delay, a lot of red through here. Near Raytown, that is a crash, and it's 435 northbound at 63rd. You'll tap your brakes through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I just came up with this. I want to play this game. Text line 913-586-7965. It is interesting to see the back and forth with Brett Veach that people have, because it'll be like, in Veach we trust, and then it'll be we don't trust him with the draft, and then it'll be, after this, the sentiment will absolutely be that Brett Veach should knock this draft out of the park. I don't even know who they're going to take. I'm telling you, you guys will love the draft because that's just kind of how the draft works. Rob, is there something you are that Brett Veach is not good in the first round? Which I would just add this, and I don't even think this is a hot take. If you believe that Brett Veach is not good in the first round and Brett Veach botches the first round of this draft class, we will be able to point to when he got fired. Now, I know that you won all those championships and they have told us new wrinkles of the story of how he found Patrick Mahomes. But the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. They eventually fired Bill Belichick. They will absolutely move on from Brett Veach if it is not working. That is how football works. They don't love anybody in that profession. So if you don't trust Brett Veach to nail this first round or have confidence that he can nail this first round, I am telling you that we will look back in 2029, and when Brett Veach moves on from this position, we will be able to pinpoint exactly when that started. Coming off a year in which the Chiefs won 6 games and got a top 10 pick and then traded an all-pro player away for another first-round pick, if they botch this first round and you don't feel good about this class in 2 years, it will absolutely be the beginning of the end.
You talk about being weird. This show's been the one that's probably the hardest on Brett Veach, and I'm sitting here being like, I don't really have all that amount of worry about Brett Veach in round one, because going into the draft, the needs are so glaring that I feel like it's impossible for him not to address them. There have been drafts in the past where one of my frustrations with Brett Veach was he drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know how I feel about running back in round one. There were other better players available, but at 32, it was kind of a no harm, no foul with that miss. I don't know I have it's going to be no harm, no foul at 9, but I also don't think he's going to miss at 9 because if he takes a corner, it's not a miss. If he takes an edge, it's not a miss. Now, the player might not be a superstar, but if they take a good football player at 9 in a position of need, Brett Veach is not fired. So I don't have any of these overwhelming, I'm shaking in my boots, what's he going to do wrong type of worries, because I think as long as he takes a position of need, you'll probably be okay if you're the Chiefs.
Yeah, because then I would say this, and this is why I don't think that Veach is going to get that protection, because people just said, in hindsight, people will just say it was a bad draft class in general. I don't think the Chiefs get to hide behind that excuse. This is why. You cannot trade for 3 picks in this year's draft class when you didn't have to make the trade and then tell me you didn't like this year's draft class. You obviously liked this year's draft class. That's why you traded to go get the 29th pick in this year's draft class. That's why you went to go get the 3rd round pick in this year's draft class. They did not have to trade Trent McDuffie. I mean, you saw he still got the highest corner money anyway. It's not like a 25-year-old corner was going to lose value. That guy was always going to get paid in the National Football League. If you didn't like this year's draft class, if you were Brett Veach, and you like next year's draft class a lot more, then you should have played the Trent McDuffie thing completely different than how you played it. You should have kept them on this year's team, franchise tagged them, taken the 1st round pick in next year's draft that everybody seems to love with all of the quarterbacks, and you should have moved accordingly. So I will not be giving Brett Veach the, oh, well, this wasn't a good draft class. No, you loaded up to get assets in this year's draft class. You had 6 picks in this year's draft class. You made a trade to go get 9 picks in this class. You love this class.
I also think the way they've operated in free agency shows what they feel about this class to that point. Like, the Chiefs felt like this draft class is strong at certain positions, and then they addressed the other positions in free agency. I don't like the Kenneth Walker signing, but what have I heard from every single draft person we've on this show? We asked Matt Bertrand today. We'll ask Eric Edholm later in the week. We've asked, Matt Miller. Hey, what's a place where this draft is weak? What do they all say? Running back. There's 2. There's Jeremiah Love and Price, the other kid from Notre Dame. So I think the Chiefs know what this draft is and isn't, and have operated this offseason with how they feel about the upcoming draft, and they're moving in a way that they like the draft, and they like certain positions in the draft. They don't get a protection of it stinks 4 or 5 years later. No.
Yeah, and I would also say this about Brett Veach, and maybe this is me continuing to give him a little bit of grace. I think I've been very vocal on what I like and don't like about Brett Veach. I think that's fair to say about me. I think that Veach is good at identifying good players. I don't know if Brett Veach is good at identifying stars. Now, what I would say, and I think would be a help in this year's draft class is, I'm not sure if there's a lot of stars in this year's draft class, but inevitably there will be a lot of good football players in this draft class. Whenever we talk about these drafts being a bust, it's usually not, well, there weren't any starters, there weren't any guys who could end. No, there's going to be good players that come out of this draft class. I don't think we're looking at a class like 2011, for example, where there's maybe 8 Hall of Famers out of that draft class. I don't think that's what this class is going to be. But is there going to be some double-digit sack guys? For sure. Is there going to be some 1,000-yard rushers in this draft class? Probably so. Are there going to be some very productive wide receivers that come out of this draft class? Is there's going to be a defensive tackle that in 4 years gets $75 million? Well, of course, that's how the NFL works. So if you were telling me that maybe for this year, you're always looking for stars, but what they really need right now is they need really solid impact starters. But that's a guy that you can count on and get you 8.5 sacks. Can you find that with the 29th overall pick? Great, if that's the case. Can you find Cortland Sutton, for example, at wide receiver? You don't got to find Cortland Sutton at 9, but with the 40th overall pick, can you find a wide receiver that can play 6-7 years in an organization and be a guy that we all think on a year-in, year-out basis can get 800 to 900 yards? To me, that's what they need to be trying to find in this year's draft class. They need to find that tight end, that maybe that guy doesn't turn out to be Travis Kelce, who's a Hall of Famer, but can you find Sam Laporta? That's a good tight end in the National Football League. Can you find TJ Hawkinson in this year's draft class? Can you find David Njoku in this year's draft class, or a guy like Harold Fannin who looks like he could turn out to be a star at the position? Those are the kind of guys they need to be finding.
I agree with you. And to that point, now don't get caught up in the analogy too much here, but in 2021, Brett Veach, they did the Orlando Brown trade. Here was his draft picks. I would say there were no stars for the Chiefs in this draft, but the Chiefs walked away a better football team because of what he did. Creed Humphrey, not a star. Great football player, not a star because of position. Nick Bolton. I know fans think he's a star because he went into college, but Nick Bolton plays middle linebacker in the NFL. He's not a star, but he's a really good football player. Noah Gray, productive backup tight end. It was a 5th-round pick, not a star. You got, good production in that pick. He also picked Trey Smith. He plays guard. He's not a star. In 2021, Brett Veach walked away with 3+ football players in the draft, and they were better for it. If he does that again this year, which I think this year could be more 2022-ish, where he did get stars, but if he walks away with 4 or 5 starters that you want to give a second contract to, they don't need to be Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs to be in a better spot. Drafting starters is the baseline of what you should be doing, and Brett Veach has shown he can do that in the NFL draft.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. See that it's hard for me to get with the take that Veach doesn't know to identify stars when he's the biggest reason that Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs quarterback. That alone proves that he can. He just hasn't had the draft capital to get said stars. I would say I disagree on both fronts. I would say, you guys know, I think the entire Brett Veach story of how they found Patrick Mahomes is the greatest fairy tale in Kansas City history. We had no clue who Brett Veach was. They then fired John Dorsey. They've erased John Dorsey out of Chiefs history and given Brett Veach all of the credit. And you don't need the early draft capital to get said stars. How did they find Chris Jones? They didn't get Chris Jones with the 3rd overall pick. How did they get Travis Kelce? How did they get Tyreek Hill? How did they get Kareem Hunt, who led the NFL in rushing? You do not only get stars with having a top 6 pick in the NFL draft. Brett Veach has certainly had enough capital to be able to get said star opportunity. On Thursday and Friday, you get another opportunity to identify those stars in the National Football League. But I don't want to hear early draft capital. I'll give you another team as an example, the Rams. The Rams never have early draft capital. Somehow they have stars on their team. Puka Nacua was not an early draft pick. He's maybe the best receiver in the league.
I mean, we just saw a team in Seattle win the Super Bowl. Everyone thinks very highly of John Schneider. It wasn't like John Schneider's team is just first-round pick everywhere. New Chiefs running back Kenneth Walker. What was he? A 3rd-round pick, I believe? Sam Darnold was at one point considered a cast-off. He was their quarterback. Like, when Nick Eman-Wari was drafted, me and you did not come in here on Friday last year after drafted like, oh, man, Eman-Wari. He wasn't a first-round draft pick. So there's more to just round 1. I understand why fans and people like us hyper-fixate on round 1, but he's allowed to find a star in round 2, round 3, round 4. He's allowed to do it in round 7. You can do whenever you want. As long as he finds a star and then some productive players, that's all that matters out of the draft.
Yeah, so someone on the text line says, C-Dot, he found 4 guys who reset their market. Patrick Mahomes, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Trent McDuffie. I don't give them the Patrick Mahomes credit that everybody else does. That's just the disagreement that I have. One's a center, one's a right guard, another one that they got rid of when it came time to pay him. So, if you think that this is a strong suit that Brett Veach has, great. We don't have to argue it. They got the 9th pick, the 29th pick, the 40th pick, and the 74th overall pick. Do it again. Find that guy again at corner. Find that guy again at pass rush. Find the Travis Kelce replacement. If you do those things, the Chiefs will win another Super Bowl. They've got a good enough quarterback. They got a good enough coach. They got a good enough running back for the next couple of years. If he can find those quality of players at the position groups that they don't need a center this year. They don't need a right guard this year. They need a dog on the defensive line. If they find another dog on the defensive line, then they got a great shot. If they find that guy at corner, a guy that they love, then yeah. Then they'll be back in the Super Bowl then.
Matt Verderam said earlier, if they nail this draft, they can be back in the Super Bowl. If they absolutely stub their toe, trip over themselves, whatever analogy you want to use, they will be out of the playoffs again, and we can point to this moment as to why. Maybe this whole offseason as to why, because it won't just be the draft. Like, if the Chiefs are bad this year, people are going to point to, wait, you made your big move at running back? Like, it's going to be, this offseason is the crux of what happens next. Could be another parade where Brett Veach tells people, you're welcome. Well, let's just see.
For sure, I'll play it for you. This is what Verderam said earlier on the show.
But if they screw this up, if they don't draft well, you could look back and go, that's the day the dynasty died. Because they have real holes at corner. They have real holes at edge, real holes at receiver. Like, those top 3 picks that they have, 9, 29, 40, they have to nail 2 of them. They're probably not going to nail all 3. That's fine. They've got to nail down 2 of them. And if they screw up the 9 pick because they take Tyson and the guy plays 20 games in 3 years, like, that's on them. They know he's injury riddled. They know that. Every team in the league knows that. So, to me, if you're Kansas City, you got to walk out at 9, taking a guy that you feel like, look, man, there are no real red flags with this dude. He's a really good player. There's no off-field stuff. I'm not dealing with a million injuries. I think that's what you do, even if it's a Caleb Downs and it's not a premium position, but he's a really good football player.
Would you take Jordan Tyson?
At 9, no.
Well, I mean, I think he's off the board then. I think you only got one chance at getting Jordan Tyson.
I would, if he's at 16, 17, 18, I would maybe consider.
I don't think he falls in this year's draft class. I hear what you're saying. I would be a little bit surprised. I think you were starting to hear a sentiment from draft people that they think he is the most talented receiver in this draft class, but he does come with the injury history. I'd be surprised if he was there at the middle of the draft. Now, Mekhi Lemon, I think, will be there potentially. I'd be surprised if Jordan Tyson was there at 17.
I wouldn't take the risk at 9 from the Chiefs. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm taking a known commodity at 9. Or what I believe to be a known commodity, which is why I'm, team edge rusher when it comes to Reuben Bain, or if Carnell Tate is there. Jordan Tyson maybe one day is a great player, but right now there are too many concerns about his health. You can't walk away and be like, hey, when healthy, we think we got a guy. That doesn't help you the same way getting a guy actually does.
I want to read this text. CDOT, in Brett's defense, I don't think Andy and his offense is helping him with the wide receiver. You're telling me Sean McVay was the head coach here. Brett couldn't pick a wide receiver who could work in that system. Wide receivers always work in that system, but apparently it takes 2.5 years here to learn the system. I would counter with this. Andy Reid didn't really have problems with wide receivers until Brett Veach got there. We can look at his entire career before he got to Kansas City with Brett Veach. They never really seemed to have a problem with wide receiver until Brett Veach was the one picking the wide receivers. Tyreek Hill worked just fine in this offense and became a star, was not drafted by Brett Veach. His entire time at Philadelphia, they had productive wide receivers. They have struggled to figure out wide receiver when Brett Veach has been at the helm of figuring out the wide receivers. Now, obviously, it's a process, a lot of other people, but I don't want to completely put this off on Andy's system. Andy's system has seemed to work at every other phase when it comes to wide receivers, except this current phase when it comes to wide receiver. I would also say it was working well enough for Rashee Rice that you guys loved Rashee Rice before this most recent stretch of games. That rookie year, heading into the second year, before he got into the car accident, people were thrilled about Rashee Rice. When he got injured and he was coming back, people were also very thrilled about Rashee Rice. So I think Rice can have 1,000 yards receiving next year if he stays healthy and stays out of trouble. Those have been two big ifs when it comes to Rashee Rice. But, I mean, that system works. Now, I think they've gotten it wrong when it comes to Xavier Worthy, at least on what his ceiling can potentially be. But I'm not all the way out on their system and how it works for wide receivers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also think it's possible that when Brett Veach took over his drafting, Andy Reid hired a wide receiver coach who is totally incapable of the position. Like, I'm open to that too. If you pull up Connor Embry's Wikipedia page, I think it coincides with Brett Veach's timeline, and it's possible Brett Veach was drafting raw talent players and the coach in the room couldn't mold them into more. Like, there's a lot of reasons why perhaps wide receiver isn't working recently with rookies, more so than just Brett's bad at picking them. I think there's probably more to it than that.
Yeah, I also think too, and I think this might be the difference in what the Rams are looking for and what the Chiefs are looking for. I think Puka Nacua is the best route runner in the league. Like, I think he gets himself open. I think that Cooper Kupp, even with all of his diminishing injuries, I think the Cooper Kupp still has an ability to get open. It's not really what you would say about Xavier Worthy. Like, if I ask you to describe the kind of game that Xavier Worthy has, he's a speedster, jet sweep guy. He's a guy that you're trying for a home run ball. What I think they really need is a guy, to me, like Mekhi Lemon. I think Mekhi Lemon can get open in the National Football League and can create separation. I don't think that's the skill set for Rashee Rice. I also don't think that's the skill set for Xavier Worthy. Now, can they find that guy in this draft class? Let's see if that can end up being the case. But when you think about the kind of receivers that Andy used to have success with, you had one of the fastest breakaway speed guy in Deshaun Jackson, who was a consistent 1,000-yard guy in Philadelphia. Macklin, another speed guy, great route runner. I don't really know what Xavier Worthy's skill set is other than he fast, which is a really great skill set to have. Man, it's the NFL. Everybody is fast. Tyreek's skill set is not just he's fast. He developed into an incredible route runner and an underneath and also a high ball catcher. It's not really what Xavier Worthy is. Now, you're hoping now with Chad O'Shea, you're bringing in another wide receiver coach that you can develop those kind of skills. But I think those are the kind of wide receivers they need to be looking for in the NFL draft. Let's reset the top story. We'll get to that coming up on the other side. There could be some changes to the downtown stadium proposal. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya, guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Tonight, expect a low of 58 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
The WNBA is coming to Kansas City. Don't miss your chance to see the Minnesota Lynx take on the Nigeria women's national team in a can't-miss exhibition showdown. It all goes down April 27th at the T-Mobile Center, featuring elite WNBA stars and world-class international talent in one fast-paced, high-energy matchup. This is your moment to witness greatness live. Tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seats today at T-MobileCenter.com before they're gone.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come see us in store. Shane Company engagement rings are crafted with care from our hands to yours. Because a friend wants your ring to be nothing short of perfect. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Kick off your weekend early at the Brooks Cider. Thursday night reverse happy hour means great deals and even better vibes. Grab your crew, grab a drink, and stay for the game. Brooks Cider Sports Bar and Grill. Game day starts here.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. $4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this, and we've got crashes. North KC, that's 35 northbound, just past 16th. Right lane is blocked on the curve near Lee Summit. Two-car crash. 470 northbound past Struther. Right lane is blocked. And then we've got 35 northbound at 95th. That's a crash blocking part of the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, we'll talk about the stadium a little bit. I don't know if I got distracted, but this also feels important. This is what a sports fan is very interesting to me. And I say this as somebody who has spent a large portion of my life reading about sports, talking about sports, trying to understand you guys better. It's what I do every day. This is what I don't get. Let's say that there was a restaurant that you liked, and you went to this restaurant a couple of times, and you started to get really bad service and really bad food. Eventually, you would say to yourself, I don't think I'm going over there again. Right? You have absolutely seen a trailer to a movie and thought, I'm not watching that movie. That movie looks terrible. And I get it. There are a lot of other options. It's entertainment. I completely understand all of that. This is what I'm maybe struggling with. Because we always give fair weather fans a really, really hard time. Oh, you're not a diehard. You're a fair weather fan. I can't lie to you guys. Being a fair weather Royals fan sounds like the way to be. Like, if you're a diehard Royals fan and you live and die with the results of this team, you cannot be having fun right now watching this baseball team. This cannot be enjoyable. It's night after night after night of watching them lose. At what point do you think to yourself, yeah, this isn't fun? You know what? I'm not going to watch them tonight. You know what, babe? Let's watch a movie today. Hey, babe, you know what? I'm going to watch the NBA playoffs today. At what point does that happen? Now, shout out to Joel Penfield. He tweeted this out yesterday. Since last Sunday, the Royals have either been tied or had the lead in the 7th inning or later 6 times. The Royals have lost all of those games. We're going on, Rob, 8 in a row they've lost? 8 games in a row? We're going on over a week that the Royals have lost. Now, if you were talking to a young lady and she didn't reply to your text for 8 straight days, the rest of your friends would be like, you should maybe leave her alone and stop talking to her. If you were texting this young lady, hey, I want to see you, I want to hang out, and she just left you on red for 8 straight days and then popped back up on the 9th day like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, you would not let that person back into your life. Why are we letting the Royals back in our life right now? They got to show and prove to me. Call me fair weather. That's perfectly fine. But why are you giving the Royals any of your energy right now? Why are you giving them any of your time? They're terrible. No one drinks the worst soda. Nobody eats at the worst restaurants. Nobody is going to the theater to see the worst movie with the worst reviews. Why are you giving this energy to the Royals? It blows my mind that people do this.
It does confuse me, but I think this is just, to answer your initial question, this is just what sports fandom is. It's not all rainbows and unicorns all the time. Carrington, you're a Missouri basketball fan. I'm a Kansas football fan. There have been dark clouds over those programs multiple times. You stayed a fan. You kept watching. I know you watched a Kim Anderson basketball game. Isn't that the same right now as the Royals? Explain the difference. Like, if you want to say don't do that to yourself, I've lived through it. Hey,
I take mental breaks from those teams. I take mental breaks. That's what I'm saying is I think we give fair weather fans a tough time when being a fair weather fan sounds like the best thing for your mental. It really does. The best thing for your mental. Rob, you know a lot of KU football fans that were disconnected for 6-7 years and then came back. They made the right decision. Can you imagine? It's a beautiful fall day. You could be outside in the leaves. Your girl wants to go pumpkin picking, and you're inside watching KU get their teeth kicked in by Iowa State. That sounds like fun to you, Rob? You enjoyed 2012 Kansas football? No, you didn't. That person that didn't watch those games and then popped back up in 2022 when Lance got them back right, and they went out and they did other things in their free time, they were right. You were wrong. So I'm telling you tonight, why don't you take you and your wife to Stock Hill? Why don't you say, hey, babe, that movie that we've had in our queue for the last handful of days that you've been saying, let's watch, why don't we watch that tonight? You think the Royals are going to lead you anywhere other than disappointment? It's night after night. They'll have a lead and then they'll blow the lead, or they won't score, or they'll get blown out. They've been doing this for night after night after night, and you just keep going back. You keep going back to the same restaurant that has hair in your food. At what point is that a you problem? The Royals haven't won a game since April 11th. April 11th. They've been losing every day. I just want people to be happy. That's it. I just want them to be happy.
I do think baseball's a little different, too. Baseball's the sport designed most for taking a mental break.
Yeah.
Like, even when the Royals are good, people did not watch all 162. They took mental breaks from the team. It's a daily grind. That's why the sport's great, but also why Michael movie last night, and I got my shows to catch up on. I don't have time for that team tonight. And you know what? If they win, I'll watch tomorrow, but baseball lends itself to the mental break, and I'm going to take one tonight.
When you just think about it, we make every other form of entertainment earn our dollar. We make them earn that we're going to support them, right? Like, you got to do something for me just to say, hey, I'm going to come out, I'm going to support. Sports, they take advantage of the fact that, no, that's not what happens. And someone said, C-Dot, night after night, this is season after season. Yeah, that's what I mean, season after season. Someone also said, C-Dot, I can confirm as a fair weather Royals fan, it feels nice to have some distance from that misery. Being a diehard Royals fan it has to be a mental illness. I don't know what else it can possibly be. It has to be. Every night, this is how you get enjoyment. You get enjoyment sitting there and watching them get beat 13-4 by the Yankees or 7-0 by the Yankees. It's a beautiful spring day. And you're just inside watching them get beat 7-0. No, go outside. Go to the mall. Go ride a bike. Go fly a kite. Now, listen to the game on the radio, for sure. Always listen to the game, especially from 2 to 6. Oh, my, always listen during that time. But outside of that, no, be free. Be free today from the Royals. Be free. Be free. Make them earn your love. Make them earn your trust in going back out there and supporting them.
I think that's why fans are having a hard time to the point person who says season after season. The last 2 seasons of Royals baseball, actually pretty good by Royal standards. Playoffs and then over 500, which is why this kick in the teeth has hurt fans so much more than usual. If this was 08 after 06 and 07, that kick in the teeth is life. This one feels a little different because they actually had been burdened by expectations.
Yeah, I'm pointing. If you even want to go further back, the Royals have won 2 games in the last 2 weeks with one off day in the middle. I'm talking about the person that spent that $100. That $100 you spent on Royals TV, it's gone. You're not getting it back. One thing they're not going to do is give you your money back. They're not giving you a refund back. I would call my card and say it was fraud. The Royals are frauds. You got frauded. I would call Chase Bank right now, and I would dispute that charge on your card. That's how they've played. They got booed last night. At the crib, they got booed. Rob, it's their second homestand of the year, and they're already getting booed. This is bad. It's rock bottom right now for the Royals. Well, they're announcing a stadium tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. Traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this, and we've got crashes. North KC, that's 35 northbound, just past 16th. Right lane is blocked on the curve near Lee Summit. 2-car crash. 470 northbound past Struther. Right lane is blocked. And then we've got 35 northbound at 95th. That's a crash blocking part of the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money. A lot. And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $400 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $400 in bonus bets. That's just for getting started. When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back those stats up, you can head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, matchups, all in one location, all on the same app, so you can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need on America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't miss your shot. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official partner of the NBA and also the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued to non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days on street, which apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
So, you're ready to propose, huh? Yeah, man. She's definitely the one. What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler. I could use some help with that. Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. Families and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for
for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER. Join us at the Fans Draft Party at the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill on April 23rd for your chance to win $965 in our draft contest. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right. Congratulations on getting to your 9 to 5. We were just talking about this. We're having a little bit of fun. This is what I was saying. At what point with the Royals do you just say, you know what? Enough. I'm not doing this anymore. There was a television show. We all have had this show that you loved. And then one day you started watching this show, and the storylines kept getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And then one day you just woke up and you said, you know what? I'm not watching this show anymore. I was wondering if you guys are at that point with the Royals. Now, I'm not saying the Royals can't get you back. They absolutely can get you back. But they won 2 games in the last 2 weeks. They can't score. And then when they can't score, their bullpen isn't good enough to hold the lead. It's a when it rains, it pours kind of situation. So someone sent this in. Text line 913-586-7965. Sita, I love listening to it. I listen to the show every day, whether your show is good or bad. I only hate when you talk about the Tigers, but I still listen because I'm a true fan. This is just like every other entertainment product. I love SportsCenter. I still watch it sometimes. But when they start showing the hockey highlights, I don't want to watch the hockey highlights. You can treat this show like this, too. Sometimes we won't be talking about something that you're interested in. You turn it. Hopefully you come back, and we are. I'm not saying let's never watch the Royals again. I love watching the Royals. I plan on going to the games still in the future. I'm just saying can we at least make them earn it a little bit? I made the analogy earlier. If you texted a girl 8 days in a row and she never replied to you, on the 9th day when she finally said, hey, how excited can you be about that? Where were you for the last 8 days when I was trying to get a hold of you? Hey, I wanted to see how your day was going. I wanted to hang out with you. I wanted to communicate. You wouldn't let people treat you the way that the Royals are treating you. The Royals haven't won since April 11th. You're telling me they can win on the 21st and they can just have your love and affection back? No, you got to earn it. That's why I was saying being a fair weather fan is not that bad. It really isn't that bad. Like, we give the fair weather fans a tough time. The diehard fans, if you're at the stadium and it's September and it's a Tuesday and it's cold outside and you're at the game, you don't appear to be having a good time to me. The bandwagon fans, the fair weather fans, they always come in when it's fun. It's great when they pop up. Oh, the stadium is full. Oh, it's great. I just think we're a little hard on fair weather fans. They're the honest ones. They're the smart ones.
You are saying, though, they can win you back. You're not saying quit them for good.
No, you can always, you're always going to listen. You're always going to give them another chance. I'm just saying this time they've really upset us and they've really disappointed us. This is not a normal bad Royals year. We all know we've had some years where, going into it, there were certain phrases we used to say that were code for they weren't going to be good. Remember we would say, I don't really care what their record is. I just want them to develop the young guys. Oh, we used to love saying that. Hey, I just want to make sure they play the young guys. When you start talking like that, your team's terrible. You're talking about playing the young guys. It's March. No, how about playing the best guys? Not just the young guys. Let's play the best guys. When you're mad, when they're not playing Johnny Giavotella, not how this year was supposed to be. This year was, that saying in The Wire where they were talking about crawl, walk, and run? They did their crawling. They've done their walking. It was time for them to run. I think you can argue that the Royals are the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball. They are.
Them are the Mets.
And I'm also saying, and I also think you got to factor this in too. Coming off, when was the last time that you were excited about pro sports in this city? What was that? last September, it couldn't have been when the Chiefs started playing, because almost instantly Travis Kelce tackled Xavier Worthy. Almost instantly Travis Kelce fumbled the ball and the Eagles picked it up and won that game. It's been a while since we've been like, oh man, hey, you know what, man? The local teams are playing really good. Think about that. For as great as sports it's been kind of mid for some time. The Chiefs were mid this year. The Royals are terrible this year. K-State was awful this year. It was a ho-hum Kansas season with a lot of controversy about their best player. There were not a lot of exciting moments for the Missouri basketball team. They were a 10 seed and lost in the first round of the tournament. We're going through a period of mid. Maybe this is our penance. It was so good for such a long period of time. Chiefs were winning Super Bowls. The Royals were coming off the glow of winning a World Series. Kansas won a national championship. You know, maybe this is now, it's just the ups and downs. It's the motion. But I'm not even trying to be funny anymore. It's been a while since, Rob, it's been like a great period of professional sports in Kansas City. It's been almost a year.
I mean, you could argue it's going back all the way when the Chiefs lost the Eagles Super Bowl, because the Royals were.
That's what it was. That's exactly when it started. After the Eagles beat the Chiefs, it's been all downhill.
Oh, really? Halftime. Kendrick Lamar took the field, and Kansas Royals fans have had no joy ever since that moment.
For sure, 100%. Someone said, CDOT, you're right. Whenever we called it an evaluation year, that's another term. Whenever you call it an evaluation year, it's code for they're not going to be good. Somebody said, just get us to training camp. Another acknowledgement of this team is not going to be a good team. We're just asking them just to hold on. We were talking about this team making the playoffs. We were talking about this team winning the division. We were talking about this team being special and building something. The highlight of the Royals season has been those City Connect uniforms. That's been the highlight of the season.
It's been the city got burdened by expectations, and the Royals drown under those expectations. At least at this point in the season, they have drowned. Hughes' job can give updates on a AA prospect, and people get way more fired up than the main club. There was definitely a time in Royals baseball where people were like, ooh, Eric Hosmer's a Wichita Wrangler? Talk about that.
Yeah,
no one cares about Rick Ankiel with the main club. It's not that bad yet.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. Just last year, at least you had the hope of Jack Caglione.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was really holding us by for a while. Like, while the Royals were just average, you were just looking at Jack Caglione, and you were like, all right, help is on the way. Right now, it feels hopeless with the Royals. What's the hope with the Royals? Is there a pitcher coming to save them? Is there an offensive player coming to save them? Is there some secret weapon that they've been holding on, that they're about to call him up and he's about to hit fire for the Royals? No, it's none of that. It's none of that. Now, I understand this text. See that I watch the Royals every night, good or bad, just because I love baseball and it makes great background noise no matter what. Like, I'm only paying 25% attention, but I just like having it on because the Royals bring me joy. I'm happy they exist. I can live with that. That makes a lot of sense to me. I get that. We all have things like that. I mean, I don't sit down and watch every second of the NBA playoffs. I got it on in the background. I'm doing other stuff. I'll sit down. I'm keeping an eye on it. It's the game close. I'll sit and I'll watch it. Yeah, of course. There's some games I'm dialed up for. I'm really excited for that Pistons Magic tomorrow. Yeah, there's games like that. We got a great series with the Knicks and the Hawks. We got a great series with the Nuggets and but yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense. I just don't want the Royals to take your energy away. And that's what I think they've done with a lot of people. They've taken your energy away. And I get it. Whenever you're booing the team in the second homestand, things are going bad. Real bad. Can you imagine if I told you a couple of weeks ago you were going to be booing Bobby Witt Jr.? You were going to be booing Miguel Garcia. You were going to be booing Jack Caglione and Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez. That's what's happened.
By the way, it was night one of the second homestand. This wasn't like, oh,
yeah, they just got back. They just got back.
The flight landed and it was boo time.
Immediately. Yeah. They just people beating down. They've been losing. They've been losing for weeks, it feels like. It honestly feels like the World Baseball Classic was 2 months ago. It does not feel like the World Baseball Classic was 30 days ago. It feels like the World Baseball Classic was in January is what it feels like. I mean, the World Baseball Classic was a month ago. It ended in March 17th. It was a month ago. We were all excited. They killed baseball in a month in Kansas City. Just sick. They don't even get a random schedule today. I can't do it. I can't highlight their history. They can get back to a random schedule and they win another game. They got to win another game. They're on random schedule, random lineup, timeout. They're on a suspension until proven otherwise. Let's get to the hits, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by the Salvation Army. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for the Salvation Army Civic Lunch taking place on May 7th.
All right, so let's talk about this. I want to read to you a tweet from Todd Palmer. He was on the show earlier today. Shout out to Todd Palmer. So this actually started with Sam McDowell, who has been really fantastic on all of this. So Sam McDowell tweeted this. KC City Councilman Jonathan Duncan told the Kansas City Star that the Royal Stadium location, quote, is a location that will be briefed tomorrow, but it is not Washington Square Park. The city has notably been calling the project a Washington Square Park / Crown Center location. Now, I don't exactly know the one-to-one location of where it's going to be. I'm not going to pretend. I say this is no shade towards Todd Palmer. I'm still confused after having him on the show of where the stadium is going to be. It doesn't matter. We are going to see it. It is very clear to me, just based on, I mean, we've had Jonathan Duncan in studio before. It is also important to note that he is with KC Tenants as well. So I am not surprised that I feel like this was to kind of poison the well a little bit. Like the fact that this information comes out 24 hours before their announcement, oh, hey, it's not where they told you the stadium was going to be. And he's like kind of leaking the announcement is just, I don't really like it, but the game's the game, right? Then we tried to get him on the show. He was too busy to come on the show, but he wasn't too busy to sit down to give all of the details to the Star about this. So from Sam McDowell, so tomorrow, it is not the footprint that we have been talking about. He also said that we should expect minor renderings tomorrow. So we are going to get some idea of the footprint that we are talking about. Now, maybe this is not the best radio in the world. I am taking a wait and see approach to all of this. This is a radical change for us all. I am 37 years old. Some of you are older than me. Some of you are younger than me. For those that are younger than me, you fit in this category. For those of you that are older than me, some of you still fit here, but some of you don't. I only know one thing when it comes to the Truman Sports Complex. The Chiefs have never played anywhere else in my life. The Royals have never played anywhere else in my life. And when something is the constant that those two things have been, you get routines. For those of you that go to Arrowhead, you tailgate in the same spot, and your family has been tailgating in that same spot for 20 years. Your tickets have been in the same place for 20 years. For those of you that go to Kauffman, you drive into the stadium the same way, and you've been doing that your entire life. We have all had so many great memories, and you've been at so many cool things. Some of you were at the 13-second game with Kansas City and Buffalo. You were there when they beat Tennessee, when they went to their first Super Bowl since the 60s, whether it was the Kauffman Stadium. You were at Game 1 of the World Series. You were at Game 7. Some of you saw George Brett play there. We all have so many memories tied in to the Truman Sports Complex. Our lives are about to change. Our routines are about to change. Our traditions are going to change. But that doesn't make them bad. Not by any means. It's just different. I made this analogy earlier. My entire life has been the MU-KU rivalry. Like, it was never in the cards for me to cheer for Kansas. Nobody in my family cheers for Kansas. Everybody in my family hates Kansas. I mean, it's a rivalry, but just, you know how it is. Rob, I imagine it was never in the cards for you to cheer for Missouri. Never. Your dad went to Kansas. Your brothers went to Kansas. You grew up in Kansas. You were never going to cheer for Missouri. It was just a part of you. You and I have had 40 years of memories in this rivalry. You've had 40 years of booing this guy or cheering this guy or these moments and memories. We could spend all day sharing these stories. Well, the rivalry has changed, but that doesn't mean that it's completely gone away. Trust me, I was at the game last year between Missouri and Kansas when Mr. Brightside was on. Rob, you were there. Those kids were excited to hear that song. I was at the game when Missouri stormed the court a couple of years ago when they beat them at home. We got to give this new generation their moments, their memories with the border war, and then they'll have their stories to tell their kids. We are going to have that same experience together when it comes to Arrowhead Stadium and Kauffman Stadium. It's just going to be different. So I'm not going into it with a negative mindset. I'm excited to see what the differences are going to be. I'm excited to see what the new stadium is going to look like on both sides. So I don't 100% have the answer to what the footprint's going to be or where the location's going to be or the crossroads or the cross streets or where are we going to park. But we're human beings. We adjust. We'll figure it out. We'll come up with new routines and new ideas. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the press conference tomorrow. I might go to the press conference. I haven't been to a press conference in a very, very long time. I might go to this one. This feels like a very important one to be at.
Maybe this is just because of what I do for a living and what we do for a living. Do you know what I'm excited for mostly about tomorrow's press conference? The sense of relief I'm going to have that we have an answer. I feel like me and you have been talking stadium on this show for like the last 5 years because that's been the actual timeline of stadium talk on this show. And after tomorrow, I don't know what a minor rendering looks like, but after the press conference, which will feature Governor Mike Kehoe, Mayor Quentin Lucas, Royals owner John Sherman, I feel like we're going to have some clarity on the Royals side of things, and we have all the clarity on the Chiefs side of things. So now we can stop the politics about the stadium. We can stop the Save the K Facebook page groups. We can stop the fake anger that I'll never cheer for the Chiefs if they cross state line. We can put all that in our rearview mirror, and as a city, an area, a metro, can look forward to what's next for our two teams that are both staying in the area. But I'm excited for tomorrow for all the reasons you are, but also a nice sense of relief that this is all over. We don't have to have these arguments anymore about this or that with the stadium. It's just now it's renderings and building time, which always breeds excitement because new and different always breeds excitement.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, CDOT, what about the parking? There's none down there. I don't have the answer. I imagine tomorrow we will get some plan of the answer. I'm also just going to guess that we'll figure it out. The same way that we figured it out at Sprint Center, the same way that we figure it out at the Midland, the same way that we figured it out at the current stadium, the same way that we figured it out for the NFL draft. The same way I just trust that we'll be able to figure out where to park our cars. That's just not a concern for me. I understand if it's a concern for you. We all have different concerns going into this experience. That's just not a concern for me. And I think we'll figure it out. I mean, I plan on going to a World Cup game. They've just answered the question. I'm not parking out there. I'm not parking out there. Have y'all seen the prices? The World Cup's a scam. We got to start telling the truth about the World Cup. Rob, it is a scam. Have you seen the parking prices? I don't know if people have seen the parking prices for the World Cup.
They don't want you parking out there.
I know Kansas City. We would have complained a lot more about the parking prices if people had actually seen the parking prices. It's ridiculous what they're charging.
It's also limited parking. They're not going to let everyone park. Like, I'm sorry, if you're in section 314 for the Ecuador-Curacao game, no, you don't get to park your car. I'm sorry. Ride a bus.
Why can't we all park our cars? I guess I'm just not understanding.
Security risks is the long and the short of it.
Okay.
They also have a bunch of activation zones.
Have you seen this? I don't know if people have seen this.
I have. You can go ahead and say
for the Argentina game, the one where Messi's playing, they're charging $150 to park your car. Now for the Ecuador, is it Curacao? They pronounce it?
Curacao, yes.
Okay, I'm getting better at
this.
The
Royals are so bad, you've nailed both countries so far.
Yeah. The Argentina-Algeria game, they're charging $150 for the general parking. Y'all been complaining about $20 for the Royals. They charging $150 for the Argentina. For the Ecuador-Curacao game, they're charging $125. Now they're giving you a deal. They're going to charge you $125 for the rest of group play. When they get to the round of 32, they're going to charge $175. When they get to the quarterfinal match, which could be Messi against Ronaldo, right? That's what it could be.
That because of the quarterfinal match.
$225. $225. Rob, that's like getting season tickets to KU football. I'm not even joking. You can get season tickets to Kansas football for $225. At least one ticket. You can't get two tickets. You can absolutely get one ticket for all the Kansas football home games for $225. They're charging that to park at the World Cup. Something tells me that you will just figure out, hey, I'm not paying $225. They got a bus that'll take me out there. Well, I guess I'm taking the bus out there.
The bus $15 too. Or so $25 for game day.
I'm just gonna guess. I'm going to guess that they're going to have a parking plan. And if you want to go to the game, like me, you will figure it out. Oh, I can park here for $40. And we all know, hey, I can park here for $40. I can roll the dice on this little shady part for free, but I don't know if my car is going to be broken into or not. Or the Royals are offering this suggestion and they're going to charge me $15 to take me here and drop me off. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. I'll just figure it out.
I'm also betting. It might not get announced tomorrow. I'm betting the people in the powers that be are aware of your concerns for parking at the new Kauffman Stadium. I'm betting Mayor Lucas is not sitting in his office right now being like, we haven't thought about parking. It comes up way too often for no one to think about it. I'm betting there's some plan.
To be fair, and this is where I will give people, if that's what matters to the public, then they need to address it. Tomorrow, it'd be great if they communicated a parking plan, but I'm also going to say we all have lived in Kansas City enough. I can tell you what their parking plan is going to be. It's almost like they pass and share notes around. They're going to tell you how many available parking spaces there are in downtown Kansas City tomorrow.
Oh, what's the number? 19? They love saying that number.
I'm telling you, I bet you all three of them are going to say it. The mayor is going to say it. The governor is going to say it. The owner of the team is going to say it. So I know tomorrow you're going to be mad at me when I didn't do anything, but I'm telling you they're going to communicate what the parking plan is. And it's the same parking plan they've been telling us about downtown Kansas City our whole lives. There's plenty of places to park. Park in one of those places. I also think, too, everybody that parks out at Truman Sports Complex, hey, some of you will walk further now at the Truman Sports Complex. You will have to walk in downtown. Some of you if you got to walk across that pedestrian bridge, you know the one I'm talking about, that looks like you're about to enter a college football stadium. If you got to walk through that one, you have walked a country mile to get to a Chiefs game. You've been building up this stamina for years to take this walk to the stadium.
If you've ever thought, I can save some money by being at Taco Bell, I promise you're closer.
Yeah, for sure. You parked over there at the Casey and walked across the street. You parked at that church across the street. You paid for the pastor's vacation 10 times over. You'll be all right. You'll figure it out. All right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow after the day game. Score some runs. That's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.